should be up. Let me replace this. Gotta pull up Twitch chat.
Oh, by the way, I am here. I'm just sitting with
Okay.
the volume off until we get going.
Okay, got you. Wait. Is this rat cam right? Shoot. Yeah, I think the rack cam might not be working properly. It has tiles on it that are not the tiles that Heidi has just drawn. Okay. Okay, that might be a slight complication for this first game. Let me message Josh, see if he can talk to Heidi. All right, but
Hello? Are we
yeah,
still doing this?
yeah, we're still doing this. Yeah, it's just can't fully comment right now on exactly what's going on for Heidi's turn because the rack cam is frozen. But I did send out a message to Josh Greenway to see if he can catch Heidi. But hello, welcome to the viewers who are tuning in. This is uh, this is the Scrabble holiday party in Belleville, Ontario, and oh, we just lost the feeds. Sorry, we're working out a bit of technical difficulties, but hopefully once this all gets sorted out, we'll be able to present to you guys all.
Hello?
Hello? Um,
Shit, I had the volume off.
oh, you had the
Uh,
volume off?
I'm so sorry.
I've been talking
Yeah,
like this whole time.
I had like the Zoom silenced just because I didn't think I needed to be in it
Oh,
for
okay.
the last 10 minutes, and then I also had my computer silenced.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's going on? Did Heidi just start playing and we're
Uh,
about to start
Heidi
talking?
did initially start the game, but we lost the feed. So, she just sent a Discord message. I am hoping we can get her back to resolve this technical issue.
Okay.
All right, we're back. All right, and the rack cam is good now. All right, perfect. All right, looks like she has. All right, yep, everything's good now. All right, and then if you can just get your camera on whenever you're ready,
Yep,
Matt.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm right here. Wait, I had my camera on. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Is that it? Oh, I'm sorry. I had the hood thing on.
Okay. So we saw that Heidi's opening rack in this game contained the Z and the J. She's opted to play Jaw, which looks to be pretty sensible. Keep the very strong ESTZ leave. And
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those positions where Zetas is tempting, but Zest is just such a powerhouse. It actually does draw quite a few bingos, and
hmm
because it contains the Z, they're 90 pointers. And
yeah,
also sometimes you just play ZE or something on your next turn, and you have a base of like ST. So
yeah,
a lot of that stuff, Zetas is also easy to overlap or underlap, and it has an S in the triple lane, which is not a very good thing on the first turn. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why, even though 22 is a lot to give up,
hmm
do think do think Jaw is going to end up quite a bit better.
yeah. No, I would agree with that. And I'm not exactly sure what Heidi's seventh tile was, but holding the Q, she opts to use those tiles she kept to play Zest for 47, which does look pretty strong.
Yeah, that is another advantage to Jaw. That exact play is built in sometimes. Just that sometimes your opponent goes to the left with their next play, like Vera did, and then
Mm-hmm.
uh, a lot of times in Scrabble we like those sort of like almost floor raisers, so to speak, where that's sitting there a lot of the time.
Yeah. And yeah, it looks like we got 5 viewers in chat now. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Yasmin, not Jasmine. Heidi is dressed as an elf today, which is extremely appropriate for the overall theme of this tournament, being the holiday party. Welcome, 8-Bit Aztec, as well. We're all wishing
You might be stuck deciding between exchanging and scoring zero, or maybe some sort of play using up the blank, which is it's never fun, but man, when the other option is exchange and score zero, you know, sometimes something's got to give.
mm-hmm. So, just a quick question. Do you need me to give you a Video Ninja link for my Quackle or my OBS, actually?
I've got my own Macondo running, which I guess is dependent on
Right. I guess my question was, are you watching on a delay?
I'm watching on Twitch.tv,
Okay.
so
Let
can I
me.
get a video link?
Yeah. Give me 1 sec. Should be able to. Alright, so Heidi's played Lux through the. Vera played a pawn, and Heidi
Yeah,
has played
I
Lux.
think this is the idea. It's never fun sitting on the queue for a while, but you really do need to do something to deal with that area. It's really volatile.
Mm hmm.
It's a lot of ways to score 50 with something like, I don't know, and anything forming like ENE and ZOL, like paled, is just suddenly something like 50 points. And I think Lux is actually the equity play, so I think
Yeah.
this is the right. Again, never fun, but you know what else is not fun? Scoring zero. So that is very logical in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I sent the Video Ninja link on Discord in the group chat. If you need me to email it to you to open it on computer, then I can do that as well.
I think I can deal with this.
Okay. Wait. Uh, oh, shoot. That's not even the right link.
Okay. Well, it's okay. I mean, I have a
Yep.
view of it.
All right.
Heidi's drawn quoting. Don't think it plays right now, but you never know with what Vera might be about to do. It might end up playing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a position that's very closed, and Heidi has a 50-point lead, so there's definitely a lot of situations where Vera creates some sort of opening. He's played Ait underneath Fan.
Yeah, this is one of those interesting spots where, yeah, you definitely want to start thinking about creating an opening, but sometimes when it's this early on, you're like, oh well, maybe I can just sort of, I don't know, hit something.
Hmm.
Um, you don't have to go nuts. Sometimes this early, it's a sort of a patience is a virtue kind of thing. But yeah, most likely this AIT play is just sort of equity and is correct, but also you don't have to always go crazy into the bag of tricks you're
Yeah.
getting. Yeah, Heidi with what's now officially homeless, quoting, probably gonna be sad about it, but
Yeah.
eventually settle on QIN because it is the only Q play that does not use the blank.
Yeah.
Never fun setting up the queue like that when you don't have another eye, but especially in a situation like this where it is the literal only queue play, I think we're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, for sure. In this position, there is no other option. The Q is the main thing stopping Heidi from bingoing, and it does not appear that there's any sort of blank burning play with the Q that is any degree of worth it relative to just playing QIN. So
Yeah, something like Qigong is there, but usually when the non-blank using play scores 30 like QIN does, it's hard to justify the blank without a bingo. So
yeah,
yeah, definitely a prime example of a spot where it might not be fun, but it's still pretty much forced.
yeah. Is there any argument to just exchanging the Q? Probably not. It would be a strong six tile leave, but 30 points is seemingly too many to give up.
I think this is one of those spots where the blank maybe kind of acts as the great equalizer. With the blank you often you'll figure something out with your next leave, and so a leave like GOT alongside the blank, it's not as good as ERS blank, of course, but it's usually not actually as much worse as you think because of the sort of mindset of like, well, I'll get something.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So Heidi's drawing SGD, so we're gonna see a lot of things like doggiest open up maybe. Stodging. This time she did not draw a seven, but if we see an E or an I appear in space, you can start to see the logic of the blank being the great equalizer, where it's like,
Hey, maybe if you didn't have the blank, then GOT is more likely to turn into six consonants, but the blank will help you figure out something, and it's not going to be too bad.
Yeah, no, the blank is a massive bailout for a lot of racks like this, where you really, without that blank to give you some bailouts with certain tiles, you are extremely helpless in a position like this, especially on this sort of board where your only vowel, the O, doesn't really slot too nicely anywhere.
You know, Evan, I think there's a really fun fit on this board that will be the best play. If yeah, and it's still there. Do you see it? I think it might involve a Collins only word. But
Yeah, I plugged Heidi's Rack into Quackle. This is a Collins only word, but that is a really nice fit, and it still does fit after Vera's play of this.
yeah, and this is another case of just put the S on. You will often figure something out with DOG blank because again, it does have the blank, so you will usually figure something out. So
Yeah.
put the S down, take some points. The blank will get you to the promised land pretty soon.
Yeah, and there's always going to be that massive Lux hook that is still open. Lux taking a back E, and that also taking recursive hooks. So currently Heidi does not have an E, but only one has hit the board, so it is by far the most likely tile she'll draw after any play.
Yeah, GAITT, a tough one. It is actually pretty playable in the sense that both it's kind of a series of hooks. You can get there from one letter and then a bunch of hooks, and also the G and the T being clunky enough that even though it might not score very much, it still might be the best play because it often means you have a clunky rack. So it's definitely an important word to know, even if it's not quite a vowel dump and not quite a five with a high point letter.
Yeah.
And if she does find this one, it would be a huge improvement over the next best play just because it scores so much while keeping the blank. It scores 29 when that is not very realistic with anything else here.
Yeah. I would just like to apologize for the board being upside down in this orientation. I currently it's supposed to be upside down in one scene, right side up in the other, but I need to fix that in between games. I figure probably better to wait to fix that. We can see that Heidi's played Vogue. Just it does set up her S aggressively, and does get rid of one of her G's. We see Vera drop Mulch pretty immediately in response for 22. And Heidi has drawn an E and an N. So she will be bingoing this turn, I would imagine.
Yes, stinged is actually a word in Collins. I believe it's stinged. It might be stinged to act stingy. I think it's stinged.
Yeah, we don't have that in NWL, but we do have Stanged, which would also play in that same spot. Similar vowel formation, just different blank. The other bingo for 85 points with Vogue is Steading.
Yeah, I think it's steeding. I think STEDE is an archaic way of some others, to hold a homestead or something. So homestead, steed. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Heidi's cam is very low quality today, Sag. Yeah, we are kind of at the whims of the physical limitations of the tables. So yeah, it's not great. I would like to shout out Heidi. Not only is this stream a 100% volunteer production as opposed to the one run by the organizers, which is getting both sponsored and they can pay for it with entry fees, but yeah, Heidi is she does the entire setup herself, and as one of the lower rated players in the field, she's really willing to put herself out there, knowing that maybe she's gonna miss things like gates, and she thinks that it's good for the game to just put yourself out there, and I would say I agree. So I do want to say that yes, there might be some quality issues, but when you consider that this is an optional volunteer project, basically, I do think she's doing a good job. She has a job, and this is a weekend thing, and it's a lot of work behind the scenes with OBS screens and Heidi's keys to get into her account while she's playing. So yeah, this quality is definitely not ideal, but I think within the context of the amount of work it is, we have another Scrabble stream as opposed to nothing. So yeah, I do understand the pain, and I do still want to shout out Heidi for getting something down.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely something we appreciate a lot. Just having more Scrabble content does nothing but benefit the game. The Let's Play Scrabble stream is going to be featuring a lot of the top players within the field, and Heidi is definitely a more human player to put
Yep.
it that way.
She's a busy. She works for the government in Canada and deals with bureaucratic BS on a daily basis, and still puts this on the weekends. So
Yeah.
yeah. Interestingly, here I wonder if she's not gonna see Stanged or whatever. It's
She
almost she should arguably just play Gates again.
she had it lined up on her rack at a point, but I think it might be a confidence issue, not being 100% sure of stinged or stanged, both of which are valid. She had it lined up on her rack pretty quickly, but a few minutes later
Yeah.
still has not made a decision. But she's gonna want to make a decision soon. She's down to less than half of her clock in this first
Yeah,
game,
I will
and
say a lot of these words are definitely they don't quite feel right, right? Like stang is not quite a common word. Stinged is a word, but it's
it doesn't.
not what we would consider the regular past tense. Dangest is a word, but it's not quite. I mean, I would say damnedest usually, and dangest is kind of like a weird, like censored version of that, minced
Yeah,
oath.
angsted is a new word, so that one might not be easiest to see. We see that she is
Yeah,
settling
like
on dangest.
a lot of these bingos you have definitely fall in the category if you haven't studied them of like this could be a word. Maybe this feels like a word, but they're not as obvious as, if she had an R and she just played dingers or something.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is not as straightforward. She has yet to commit this play, so we can see that it has hit the board, but she's still debating things, definitely feeling like there might be something better. But at a certain point, like this game is not even halfway over, and she is down to only 10 minutes on her clock, so she's gonna have to boogie for the rest of this game.
Yeah, I wonder if part of the tank was just how bad it must feel to like use your S and blank over there. Now you're going into an uncertain future where you might not have an S or a blank, and VOG might be difficult to deal with. You can only really deal with it with like a low scoring play with the C, and that opens up a different triple. So
Yeah,
definitely not a super fun way to set up the board if you're in the lead. So I definitely think she was really trying to convince herself of something like Stinged and just couldn't do it.
yeah, but it looks like Vera's gonna use up that triple with Cow, so definitely this does put some good time pressure on Heidi, but it takes out the long term liability of Vogs bingos, so I think there's some relief for Heidi now seeing
Yeah,
that she
that's
doesn't have to worry about
definitely
it.
it's a weird thing with perspective. Vera is still not hopelessly behind, and if you don't have an S, Cow might set you up in a position where you're actually doing relatively better on this board because maybe you're going for something ending in an E with the L and Lux, and that's
Mm-hmm.
like in terms of relative advantages, Yeah, COM not a word, although it does take an S, interestingly,
Hmm.
to make one of the more atrocious looking four-letter words that looks like you're having an aneurysm.
Yeah, there's those sticky S4s look weird. Stuff like holes,
Yeah.
HOLS. It's like it just looks so wrong. MIPS is another one.
Yeah,
Which
MIPS is at least it's at least definitely a thing in computing. I don't think I've ever heard someone say I'm going home for the halls. Maybe it's a different dialect. There's also WELS, and there's NADS, which is pretty logical actually. There is what else is there? SIES, which is I bet you half the people over 2000 are kind of forgot about that. Maybe that was way in the back of their head, but they
Yeah.
kind of forgot about it and haven't thought about it in 5 years.
Yeah. So if you're in Heidi's position here, how do you think you'd handle this turn? Because she has options like Pube with Lux that are strong equity, but that does not shape the board in a way that you want to shape the board with a lead.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one because the area around Lux is one of those kind of board shapes where barring drawing the F, you really can't do anything about it because if you try, you open up something else. So I think often in this position, I kind of just take the L on like even really thinking about defense because there's different ways to kind of seal the deal, and scoring as much as
Mm-hmm.
you can is always it's always out there as an option. So another nice thing about Pube is that if Vera plays like a six-letter word on the triple, you can underlap that, and then you can start to kind of build towards a little bit more of a plug in that area, which isn't really realistic without either the F or maybe something that encourages a sequence over a few turns.
So we see that Heidi ended up selling on Beep on the interior of the board, maybe slightly spacing on the Lux hook, but uh, okay, it looks like Vera hit her clock without putting any tiles on the board. Must have been an exchange.
Yeah, definitely. We might be starting to approach a situation where Vera maybe feels the futility in everything but bingoing and just goes all in for the bingo. I just worry that if you exchange, you're getting towards a situation where even bingoing isn't enough. I actually really do like Beep. I like the logic in saying I can't deal with the Lux area, so I just don't care is actually really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely a non-zero benefit to blocking the W because the W produces high scoring bingos that actually put Vera in the lead. And yeah, sometimes that actually is more important than blocking a really fruitful lane like row three where they don't actually score that much.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we saw Heidi quickly play her top equity move on her next turn. Through there was her best play. And Vera has responded pretty quickly through that U. I can't exactly make out what tiles those are.
Yeah. I think it
Duet.
is
There we go.
duet. Yeah. So again, this is a really nice idea well behind. The area around duet is pretty difficult to make a very high scoring block, and so Heidi might be forced into a situation where she either scores very few points and blocks what clearly could take a pretty high scoring word with IST and EST being big endings, or the other option for Heidi is again ignore it, which it's kind of a perspective thing. Like Heidi should ignore it a lot of the time, but also that's the point when you're
Mm-hmm.
considering it from Vera's perspective. Like you're gonna make your right move a lot of the time, and I'm gonna kind of take advantage of that fact and put in a situation where after you do, there's at least something involving a triple, which at this score you do need to start acting in a pretty desperate way, and I think that's what Duet is doing with trying to float the T.
Yeah. So for Heidi's turn here, again, a lot of her top equity board moves would fork the board with the Lux hook in a similar way to some of the previous turns we've discussed. How do you? And it looks like she's going with. Is she about to play Verb? That definitely does open the top less than anything like Vibe or Vireo, Valle, some of those other options
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah, the one thing I will say about something like Vireo is Vireo does better when you think about what kind of things am I encouraging my opponent to do with Vireo? And a lot of the things you're encouraging your opponent to do with Vireo are actually pretty nice for you because one of them is your opponent playing through the V on the triple, and that might lead to an easier way to completely plug the L in Lux. Another thing is it encourages certain plays that go down on the end column, and that's maybe a way of dealing with the T in duet without a
Hmm.
single low scoring play, maybe a series of higher scoring ones that deal with the issue a little bit slower, but keep the scoring pressure on. Verb does a good job at that too, though, because of the unseen Ys. So oftentimes these are just food for thought, and
Hmm.
different plays have different advantages. That said, Vireo is winning the sim that I'm running. I think this is one of those situations where maybe Heidi is scared of a triple triple, but at her lead, there are still many ways to lose. And so a triple triple is big and scary, but the sum total of other ways to lose, like Vera hitting row three eventually, and then another bingo. There's enough of those in the sum total of possibilities that I do think Verb is a
Hmm.
little bit one track mind, maybe.
Yeah, and there's also worlds where Vera plays something big on the 15 row with like the S and the K, and then one bingo suddenly catches her up entirely or puts her in the lead. So,
Yeah, and in that situation, hey, maybe you want Vireo there because you have an open triple for yourself now that the game is more of a coin flip.
yeah. And Vario also did leave three vowels, A, I, O, with a lot of I's, A's, and O's still to come. So we can see Heidi currently now has uh, a five vowel rack. She has Oceania on her rack, which is not a word,
Yeah, a
albeit
thing, but
a
not a
continent.
word.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, another thing about Vireo is that the B is there's a lot of leaves that the B actually likes, and it's guaranteed to sort of soften the blow. Like if you keep the B and you draw a bunch of vowels, there's things like buoy and there's things like bow and just a lot of there's a lot more bailouts if you draw six vowels and then the five vowel leaves the five vowel draws you often get things like seiba, CEIBA. So that's a common principle in a lot of these situations. One of the weaknesses of verb is that you're keeping AIO and you're kind of approaching the point where avoiding disasters is all you have to do. And AIO certainly could go very well, but it could also lead to a disaster in what I think is a pretty obvious way if you draw vowels. So yeah, a lot of the time we're seeing with like Macondo leaves that Macondo Sims, whatever, hey, maybe like keep a high point tile because it provides somewhat of a floor. And when you're playing with this lead, all you really want is to avoid disasters, and keeping a high point tile, even if it's considered one of the uglier ones like the V, is actually a really nice idea sometimes.
Yeah, that's definitely a very good heuristic to keep in mind for turns like this, where all you need to do is just not let the worst case scenario happen. Keeping the B definitely would provide a level of stability there.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, depending on what Vera does, I might actually be pretty quickly just putting down Canoe and EL. It does actually set up a little bit of an annoying situation. It might be a little too easy for Vera to fork the board with something, but something like an N. But it does kind of it slams the door shut the fastest if
Yeah,
uh, if you can dodge a couple of really bad situations. It does kind of slam the door shut the fastest, which is often something to go for with these large leads.
yeah. I think the one issue I see with the play like Canoe is, a high scoring response like with the K on the triple lane, which then sets up an S hook and the triple up top. So I think it is
Yeah,
maybe a bit too easy to fork.
it's definitely one of those things where something of that shape is often the right idea, but Canoe specifically might be a little too ugly. But here we now have a nicer canoe spot that's probably a little safer. It does open some floaters, but the nice thing about this exact shape with the floaters going on the triple word is often you can play perpendicular to it on your next turn, and it has the effect of really exhausting a section of the board pretty quickly, based on the geometry of it with
Oh,
the
she's trying Oceania.
oh, is she?
Yes, she has
Uh,
committed that. I will wait to enter this into Quackle until we know whether or not this is getting challenged.
yeah, is it she hasn't drawn tiles, maybe it's being held.
I think it is
A
being
for
held. Yep.
effort, but yeah, maybe they did a challenge on the phone or something. So it appears she's not
Uh,
getting up.
yeah, but the clock has been stopped, so I think this play has been challenged.
Yeah, yeah, sometimes it's tricky. A lot of countries are words and a lot of I don't know, by extension a continent is kind of similar.
Yeah. So, in this,
And with ocean itself being not proper, I could see how Oceania is just a land with oceans.
yeah, looks like Heidi's got up from the table. I'm not sure what for, but oh no, she's back. Oh, there must have just been delay with the video ninja feed, and her getting up was going to the challenge computer. Uh,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, Vera's doing moo. I don't hate this idea. You don't really need to open because, well, there's enough stuff sitting there.
Yeah.
Um, and moo probably scores better than other options.
Yeah, no, I assume this is just she missed her fish and is trying to just get a little closer on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And
We we've got a couple of interesting choices. The highest scoring play is new, which is noise. Um,
oh yeah, that's
but
pretty
the
nice.
leave is pretty ugly. That said, all of the triple plays use both the C and the N, so there's not really any way to use that principle of avoiding disasters and
Yeah.
keep the N if you're going that route.
So Heidi's gonna play over there with Chow with Avi's. This is 21 points, so a decent scoring option. Does take out one of the few marginal lines on this board. Does Avi's have any hooks other than the P?
Ooh,
Or
I know Pavis. I don't think there's anything else.
okay.
Oh, does it also take an M? I think it takes an M.
Uh, right. Yeah, Mavis is also a word, but yeah. So something like Aya, AIA, would have been safe for Heidi since Vera just played the last M. There's no P's. It's still a blank unseen,
it's
but
blank.
still not a very likely bingo spot. I think that this is still a fine choice, though. That C with the H's gone does put a good clamp on the left side of the board, which is still a marginal threat for bingos with Avi's.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what Vera drew. There's definitely a way to breathe life into this game, but she
Uh,
better do something fast.
did this get a +5? I think.
Yeah, it may have. Hey, Avi being a name, definitely feels a little weird to see it as a Scrabble word. It's actually one of the new words, newish after almost a year, and it's short for avatar, so it's probably Avi.
Yeah.
It's also not the car rental company,
hmm
Avis. Honestly, it looks a little weirder with the plural because of that.
Yeah, it does look a bit weird. AVI would be a wonderful addition to NWL, but oh well,
Yeah.
I can dream.
Viz being a formerly unhookable word and one where maybe you're slotting the V out in space to be defensive is definitely a hard one to unlearn.
hmm All right, so we can see that Heidi is drawn into at least one really high scoring play of Day, DEY, with Luxt and Bai. That is 45 points, and seems like a no-brainer if it stays open. But
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, for sure. It's one of those ones where you might wince for just a second if you see the pretty open triple you're setting up, but if you do the math, you just have to do it. The triple bingos aren't enough to panic. They're also going to put Vera in a situation where she'd need a second one, and it has the advantage of kind of forcing the issue on the O column as quickly as possible. There's always a pretty high amount of value in doing something like that.
yeah, for sure. It's one of those situations where you're just going up by so many points that one bingo on the triple is not enough. You're just going to need two bingos, and while there are definitely some decent bingo letters unseen, there are also a lot of I's, a lot of R's, so it's despite there being an unseen blank and having been on the fishing train for a very long time, uh, I think the odds that she'll bingo twice this game are getting increasingly lower as we continue to move on in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things where is that agar? I
That's
can't.
aggro.
Aggro. Okay, yeah. It's one of those situations where, yeah, and it really needs to go to the T to really give her a good chance, both because of the scoring and the fact that the L is probably more fruitful and it leaves the L alone.
Yeah. But now day comes with no risk as far as what you're opening. It actually blocks the open O. So, uh, yeah, it's even more of a
Yeah.
slam dunk play now than it was before. I don't think she's noticed this play quite yet, but even if not, something like Yar or Yer is still a strong option to score with the Y and close down the O.
Yeah, and there definitely is something to be said about, I mean, I don't know what constitutes a disaster scenario at this point. It's going to be hard to lose, but arguably there's a disaster scenario in keeping AA and O and drawing more vowels. That
Yeah,
said, scoring a lot less than 45 when you could score 45 also leads to disasters in its own right. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's she's so likely to win. It's hard to make a blunder here, and I really don't think there's anything massively wrong with anything forming BY.
Yeah, she's gonna go and play a bit longer with Yarned. I think that there's definitely merit to just getting to the end of the game a bit faster when you have a big lead like this. AO is
Yeah,
not the most stable leave, especially with all the unseen eyes, but if Heidi's able to nab the S or the blank, that should easily be enough for her to get across the finish line.
yeah, and Yarned also makes it just, I guess, a little bit harder to deal with. Um, the O. Sorry, not deal with a little bit harder to work with the O. There's definitely still, if she just played Yar, there would be something there. It'd be pretty hard after you put the N down because often a consonant would follow the O in the parallels. So, and also oftentimes playing off more tiles is depending on the exact situation, it leads to less disasters because I mean all she really needed here was that F, and now this rack is not a disaster scenario
Yeah.
because she can keep on the scoring pressure with things like Fid and Foo. She can also play something like A Doi and It and just keep the scoring pressure on, knowing that hey, sometimes she'll get the bingo on the triple, but it won't be enough.
Yeah, no, Owidia probably a little bit safer to put the O up there than the A. It's also, the more common of those two, at least because it's also an NWL. But yeah, no, there's definitely some scoring options
Yeah,
here. She did draw three eyes out of the bag. There were five unseen, but that's sort of fine. Just
yeah,
those two
it's
constants are enough.
this is a thing. A lot of the plays that play off more tiles, in certain situations are harder to lead to a disaster. Like every reasonable option for Heidi was playing off the Y, so she kind of can't necessarily ensure she'll have a high point tile for next turn, but the best way of trying is to play off more tiles. Whereas something like AANO is it's not likely that you draw AII, but it's more likely than drawing 5 disaster tiles
Yeah.
with after something like Yard.
It
So
looks like
it's logical, very logical.
Vera still hasn't connected with the bingo, at least to our knowledge. She just played row, and Heidi quickly throws down idiot.
Idiot.
Yeah, so that's a decent equity play. It gets rid of 2 of her eyes, but it scores a bit less than some of those other options. But at this point in the game, it definitely is hard to lose if you're Heidi.
Yeah, it's hard to lose, and if you're going on the trend of or the theme of maybe making the kind of play that encourages another kind of play, and then that play really does damage to the board, Idiot does do well on that front because a lot of the top equity plays are going to be on top of Idiot, and Vera either has to do that and kind of shut everything down, or she has to not do it and sacrifice equity in order to not do it. So yeah, and if Vera plays to the O, um, you can go perpendicular to that, and then it's pretty tight. You could even go parallel to it with
Mm-hmm.
something like, I don't know what she has on her rack. Maybe something like Fakey deals with a lot of the disaster scenarios. But Vera's about to bingo with
Air-like, I presume.
the airline, maybe
Or
air-like. I'm
line,
not
yeah.
sure.
Both airline and air-like are good, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Uh,
They both take a front H, I believe.
yeah,
Not
that
that
is that is
But
correct.
there's not that there's one unseen, and even the blank is going in. But yeah, no, Idiot does have quite a bit of logic into it, even though it doesn't score very well.
Yeah, I think we'll just communicate to Heidi that to show the blank slip in situations like this where the blank isn't ambiguous. Like if Heidi had played stanged or stinged earlier in the game, that blank would have also been ambiguous. Although there is no overlap potential with it with that blank.
Yeah, I
At least
also think that
the
maybe
one.
that's not important enough, and we're already asking a lot of her, and maybe it's
Yeah.
just too much during a real time environment. But yeah, I get the idea.
All right. So as
I'm
far
gonna
as
assume it's an N just because it feels like a more common word.
yeah.
Air like it falling under the category of shit. I don't know. Is it?
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
like a. I think as long as we don't accidentally set up either Enolace or something like Eastloin will be good.
Yeah, is that the only are those the only threats from this unseen pool? I would assume
I
probably.
guess there's also Lonies, which also doesn't play in the present. So as
Right.
long as you maybe do something, I don't know, something kind of interior, it's pretty hard to lose.
Yeah. The equity play here is Koofy with AI. Uh, that
Yeah,
doesn't look to set up anything.
even that, yeah, even a lot of the scoring plays are probably fine just
Yeah.
because of how far ahead she is. But I don't mind just refusing to open a triple here.
Oh,
She can
also worth
afford it.
mentioning, I think Heidi has 0 seconds on her clock right now, so she wanted to get that play of Kef down as fast as possible. It's definitely not her optimal play, but she just needs to make valid plays in order to win this game.
Has she figured out that there's a tile in the bag? I can't tell.
I am not sure, but she hasn't drawn it yet. And it doesn't look like she knows. Oh, Vera flashed us her rack. I didn't catch every tile, but I don't. Yeah, if they, for what it's worth, if these players finish the game with a tile still in the bag, we are not allowed to say anything about it or interfere with the natural flow of the game. It just the game will be processed as if there are only
Uh,
99 tiles.
And yeah, if they figure it out within, I think, 20 seconds of the clock being stopped, it's supposed to go to whoever would have drawn it, whoever emptied the bag. But after that, it's just GG. It's just what
Yeah.
it is. So yeah, we're gonna see. I mean, she'll be fine since she didn't set anything up.
Yeah. She has the AURI already upside down on her rack, getting ready to play Cowrie if that stays open.
Yeah, unfortunately, she might think it's an
Alright.
outplay, which it is not.
So, getting word from chat that I think Vera does have Enel Ace on her rack, which doesn't play, meaning that the Y is the last tile in the bag. Whether or not it will be drawn is yet to be seen, but it looks like Vera's best equity plays here are just 5-letter words down with Vogs. Not sure if that. No. Quackle's finding some other stuff. Yeah.
I mean, you just play one and hope for an out. I don't know. Maybe it's hard enough to deal with Vogs that the first order of business is blocking like something like Airy and Fey.
Yeah. But
Kaury, for what it's worth, is a word, but I don't think it matters here. Yeah, we're seeing the best end games are all some variation of start there and then leave another outplay.
But yeah, Vera played nose. Heidi instantly responded with Cowrie, and I think this game is being treated as if it is over.
Yeah, Jay-Z had 99 problems. This game had 99 tiles.
Right.
And the I guess the Y ain't one.
Yeah. So, if this were to be the final score of the game, Heidi would collect 6 points from Vera's unplayed AEL and then lose 10 points for time. So the final of this game would be 398 to 310. I can't properly input this on Quackle because the game would not result in this score just based on the undrawn Y. But we do see the handshake. So
Quackle will always assume that there's 100 tiles, which is fair from a computer's perspective. It's not quite how these in-person tournaments work. It's how it should work in a ideal world. Who is that cute Christmas elf? Well, this is Heidi Robertson's stream, so we're gonna do the POV stream, and so it's everything's gonna be from her perspective. And yeah, they marketed this event as a holiday party, so they told people to bring stuff like this.
all right, let me work on rotating this element in OBS because we currently don't have an upside down board.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we doing like an interview with Heidi after each game?
I will shoot her a message. I'll send a
Okay.
message to the group.
We can either do that or take like a 5-minute break, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So chat, who here is a December 25th Christmaser and who's a January 7th Christmaser? I don't know. I don't know what we should fill the airwaves in with.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So the board should be good now. We've got one with this orientation, one with this orientation. Perfect. I did just want to wait till after the game to fix that.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's good. I'm sure we can at least tell Heidi to maybe change the camera slightly because it's definitely doesn't quite feel like it's straight down. It feels a little bit tilted.
It is not straight down now, and there's maybe a little glare, but getting word from
Well, it's
Will that
also-
he's working with her to improve the quality, so we'll just stay patient.
And one of the things they do on the main stream is they only use tiles with a high amount of contrast. Again, this is a, Heidi like self-production, but we might be able to switch them out.
Yeah,
Not
and
the greatest tiles. Not the greatest tiles for this, but again, it's her own stuff. The grayish lettering does look a little bit awkward with glare, and yeah, the debate over Christmas is the Orthodox Christians usually do the January 7th, so it's based
so
on the Gregorian calendar. So you go to a lot of the world, and Christmas is January 7th.
that's actually really funny because I was originally supposed to be due on Christmas Day. That was my original, when I was supposed to be born. But I was born on January 7th. So it looks like I still was born on Christmas, just
Yeah.
the other Christmas.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of there's people who celebrate on the 7th because of some sort of inconsistency with calendars. It's the same way Isaac Newton was allegedly born on Christmas, but in his time it wouldn't have been seen as such.
Hmm, that is quite interesting. I'm just learning about this Orthodox Christmas now, but it looks like I was a Christmas baby after all. That's pretty
Actually, I have
cool.
it backwards. Isaac Newton was born on Christmas in his time, but when they standardized the calendar and then looked at it retroactively, he was not born on Christmas.
Hmm, that's very interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just coming up with something to fill the airwaves.
No, yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, it looks. I think Will and Heidi are communicating right now about how to potentially improve some stream quality, and whatever I need to do in order to make that happen, I will do whenever I'm given the word. And yeah, if we are able to, once things get a little bit smoother from a production standpoint, we might be able to get to chat with Heidi in between games. And if we're able to do that, then
Yeah, I
that'll be
am
good.
gonna do a quick bathroom break. Hopefully, get
Yeah,
back before the game starts.
yeah. Feel free to take a break right now. I'll stay here. I'll be here for chat, and yeah, definitely would like to get some insight from Heidi on this game, whether or not she just was unconfident in regards to stinged or stanged. Uh, okay, there you go. All right. So I think we are going to take a bit of a general break right now while Heidi gets reset. Uh, but yeah, thank you guys for sticking with us. Very appreciated. And yeah, we'll be back with game two shortly.
back, Evan?
You can flip back. No, yeah, they are bagging now. Okay,
Perfect.
cool.
Let's
Yeah,
do this.
yeah.
Hello, Slug Biker. We are just about to do it. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. I just got one. I just got to update the current headshot, and then we should be good to go. Heidi's opponent in round 2 is George McCauley. Do you know much about George, Matt?
He is from Saskatoon, although he's originally from Saint Jean sur Richelieu, Quebec, which is between the American border and Montreal.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he worked in the mining industry for a while, I think, and then retired. So yeah,
And yep, to all of you guys, Heidi says hi. Thank you all for watching and supporting her. She does a great job to put on these streams for everyone, and any and all support is very welcome. All right, so Heidi's
yeah, for sure. We're back, and yeah, remember, I don't know which streams you're watching. There are two of them. I would at least recommend to watch the other one with the volume off, just to drive the engagement numbers.
yeah.
But of course, you want to hear my voice over them, right?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Alright, just one or two more things to update.
Heidi with a very quick QX draw. Again, Apex might be the biggest word that ends up playing after whatever George opens with, but we'll see. Who's going? Who's going first?
George is first in this game. And he's going to open with a low, looks like.
Okay, this one's interesting because it takes an E, so that's
Oh.
a bit of a starting to get some hook challenges already.
Yeah, that's a very strange word. Looks like Heidi's best move here is probably just underlapping a low with Apex.
Oh, I'm sorry. He played the one with an E.
Oh.
My
Oh, yeah.
video. Did you send me the same video link for this game? Is it the same one?
I was told there was an issue and there wasn't an issue, so I restarted it. I will send you the new link right now. It's without all the OBS stuff also, so it's a bit less cluttered for you. I'll just DM it to you directly on Discord.
Perfect. Yeah, this one's interesting. Sometimes it's annoying to iterate through everything, but I think this time Apex is nice. The queue actually makes it a little easier to not have to sift through everything
Yeah.
because there's just a way to deal with it. So you basically have 6 tiles to think about this turn, which is definitely not great.
Yeah.
Because it means you can't do that. But
Yeah, the only other option I think is close is pole axe through that L, but that not only creates that does take an E, so that's very volatile, and I don't think you want to do that when Apex is still 5 more points and a lot more defensive. It's just that the O does not do anything to help your Q. So generally, you'd like to play a bit longer when you have an unplayable Q. That gives you more chances at an I or a U or some other board-dependent bailout, maybe a D. But in this
yeah, this is
situation,
just
Poleaxe just gives too much back.
yeah, poleaxe. You just don't have to go there. I mean, it's more floaters. It's there's a triple letter score area. There's the E hook. Like you just don't have to go there when you have something like Apex. So don't. Yeah, Heidi decided not to, which I think makes the most sense.
Ooh, okay. Give me one moment. I need to fix Quackle. The scores are in the wrong spots. I forgot that in these, Heidi should always be going first.
And yeah, Heidi appears to have drawn Yangona to the A in a low. Yangona, Yaqona. So that's nice. It's a Fijian root, Yangona.
Oh wow, that's very nice.
Yeah, Yangona is one of those important words. It's also one of those words that if you start playing Collins, you get to know pretty quickly.
Okay, scores have been corrected. Board orientation's been corrected. Looks like George is playing a double double through LA. Oh, a 9 letter bingo
Appears
deflation.
to be deflation.
That's a
That's a very
fantastic
nice find.
find.
Yeah, it's gonna be really annoying because Heidi's Q plays have been reduced to things like QIN.
Yeah, deflation and deflating available. Uh, does deflating take an S? I would assume not.
I do not know, and that's probably why he went with deflation, even though it's a little more volatile.
Yeah,
Can't really blame him for that.
yeah, no. Deflation definitely does take an S. It's a common word as far as being a noun. As far as I looked it up in my own Zizva, which is set to NWL, but in NWL, deflating does not take an S, and I would assume it's the same in Collins. And it looks like we might be in a position here where it's in Heidi's best interest to hold her Q again. She can score well into the mid 30s with something like body, parallel to deflation, making BO and ON. It seems
Yeah.
like 36 is worth it here.
Yeah, we're getting a comment about my pronunciation of Yangona. It's the result of I believe missionaries introducing the concept of an alphabet to Fiji, and often when you do that, you basically don't necessarily need the Q because it's already so rare, and so you look for a common diphthong, and in Fijian, it was the NG sound, so you
Hmm.
get words like Yangona that are spelled with a Q. So I think it's definitely not the only one in Fijian. I think it's just the only one that made it into Scrabble.
All right, so yeah, we can see that Heidi's played body in a different spot, but this is also 36 points, and it's probably a bit better because it does not. What's it called? It does not put the Y in the triple lane for George to work with.
Yeah, I like the idea. I do worry a little bit that she's starting to slam her own doors shut, but it is early in the game.
Yeah. I think there's still plenty of time. She's only down 40 on turn. One bingo would be enough to fully catch her up, but again, she is dealing with a still unplayable queue that has certainly been a poison to her rack for these first 3 turns. And given what she's drawn, it looks like she might be in another position to hold the queue, but be still able to score pretty well.
Yeah, we shall see. There's a potential to redraw Yangona, which would not be ideal, but it would be a bailout. At this stage, it would open the triple and only score 20, so you might not even want to, but it at least would be a bailout that's better than something like QAT to the T in deflation. So I don't know what the seventh letter is though. So hopefully she moves it.
Uh, she has uh, ACHNOQR is her Heidi's rack.
So yeah, QIN. She's spelling out CNQ, probably hoping for an I, but
She,
it's not there yet.
she has it. George just played Wave, WAIVE, and
Perfect. Yeah.
so she could play Sank for 30, but she could also just play Chin or QI, which might save a leave. I mean, the CH combination is very strong together, and maybe there are a lot of certain draws that might work. Like if you just play QI, an E draw would give you Archaon at the very least from the A in Wave. I don't know if that's something you need to be specifically focusing on with just that. But
Yeah,
if there are a lot of one-tile draws that hit with ACHNOR, there might be an argument to just dropping the Q.
yeah, whenever you're in a position like this, you really just have to iterate through the one tile draws if you're going to think about doing something like QI. I do worry a little bit, like, I mean, where do they go? Like I don't think a low takes an S. So even if you draw an S, it's like, is that actually is something actually gonna play?
Yeah, anchors would not have a home if Olo does not take an S. So I think I like
Yeah.
Heidi's approach of Sank. Maybe Chin instead, but the 30 points are definitely nice at the deficit she's at, and she saves a nice balance to leave for next turn.
And also, she saw Sank, so that's
Right.
non-trivial.
I Yeah, it's not trivial. I have missed this word numerous times. I'm generally okay unless the C is on the board. If the C is on the board, you can pencil me in for missing Sank. But if it's on my rack, I like to think I'm okay with it.
It's so hard when QIN is always there as well.
Right.
And Heidi with one possible bingo with the right with the not right now, but with the right floater. One possible bingo. One of the Jewish things with a million spellings because of the nature of transliterating a different script.
Oh, this would be a Collins only Jewish word as well.
Is it? Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't really know at this point. But yeah, there you go, Haraset. Just that thing with like apples and nuts chopped up, I think that's supposed to resemble bricks or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we'll see what George comes up with. I don't know. Maybe Hore, WHORE is at least it at least kind of does the W on your own terms. George would probably rather go to the left and end with the W at his lead, and Heidi with the deficit might rather go to the right and open in something. So something like horror is the right idea in the sense that yeah, she'd rather go that way. See what George is doing. Gaily?
Galley.
G A Galley? Okay. Yeah, so
He's just, yeah, I'm not. I mean, that does do maybe a few good things for walling off a section of the board, but I'm not fully sure what that plays.
it's definitely a little like I don't know. Don't know if you're up enough to really be thinking like that. And yeah, like Gaul is 18.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of ways for Heidi to go, and I'm not sure which one I like the best because you can play a rehash and actually because of how little Galley scored, you're almost back.
Yeah.
Just come back. But you can also do a more bingo-y play, which might still be better at the deficit, like ho-ha. And then, yeah, if you're worried about long-term access to quality bingo lanes, you do something like horror on top, and at least do something that sets up a lot of the yeah.
Yeah. You could
Do
also.
something that sets up your ASH all as a hook to the E for a really nice clean lane that takes almost every 7.
Yeah. So there's just a few other options. Like the equity play here is ho-ha next to deflation. I don't know if you necessarily want to do that. ERS doesn't really have many spots to play on this board in terms of bingo. So I think horror.
Yeah,
I think.
Heidi's
Yeah.
going the route of horror. I think it's hard to blame. I think it's hard to
Yeah.
blame you. It actually doesn't do great in the sim, but often the sim kind of struggles to put together how desperate a situation is. Like George is actually probably not going to play a 3-letter word that takes an S. So something like ho ha is a little like he's not gonna give you something down the road, so you really should start to get proactive with something like this, even with a pretty small deficit. So I like the logic there. And we're gonna see Luz for 46. That's definitely not fun. Maybe Galley was a setup, although
It might have been a setup. Yeah.
It's kind of like why, because he would have had Zag.
Yeah. With
So,
Zoe, yeah, it doesn't really make the most sense.
Why bother? But maybe. And yeah, this one might be annoying to deal with because there's no bingos. Kind of looks like there could be, but the other thing is there's almost an embarrassment of riches like last turn. Do you play off 1S? Do you play off 0Ss? There might even be a reasonable way to play off 2. And yeah, it's like how many points now? Which lanes? I would probably try to leave the top area alone.
Yeah, this is
because that's the easiest bingo lane, and it's also a little bit might not be able to deal with it without a huge equity sacrifice, given that it's not really close to a double letter, double word type of thing.
Yeah, so I mean, if there was a good play to with the deflations and putting the H on the triple, I think that would be a great idea. But the only one there is stash using both of your S's, and knowing that you need to bingo in this position, I'm not sure that playing something that uses both S's is exactly desirable here. Something like DOHS with UG and Zaz is 35 points. It leaves the top. It makes it a little bit easier for George to reach up there, but it does not obstruct the 2 row, which is the main row you're focused on, and it leaves AST, which is a pretty strong 3-tile leave.
We have for all those fans of definitions out there, hosed has an anagram DOSEH, one of the all timers with the definition. Just probably a little unnecessarily verbose. I don't know if we can get the. I'm not logged into Twitch, but can we get the bot to enlighten us on what the dose is?
Yeah, we got the definition.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so we see Heidi playing Oaths in that spot with Does. This does block the 2 row though, so I think I would have liked to see a shorter play in that same spot instead.
Yeah, this is definitely a little like, ooh, I don't know. Again, I don't think George is giving you the kind of charitable bailout of like a 3-letter word on the D column very often, and I wonder if the sim is a little bit clouded by that. I don't love the idea of kind of walling off this whole top right area while behind. But there's definitely still ways to come back. I mean, deflations is sitting there, and there's some floaters. So Oaths is tricky because I don't know. Does it take a front hook? It does not. LOATH is one of those weird. We think we all kind of know that it means reluctant, but it looks like LOATHE, and you have to do a double take and be like, wait a minute, that doesn't actually take an S.
Yeah.
So Heidi does have one bingo, I think. Neuroids. Tricky one because unless you hammer them in, you might just not really.
That's wait. Is that? That must be Collins. Neuroid does not take the S in NWL, but yeah, it does in CSW.
Yeah, it's hard. You kind of just have to manually force them into your head. Unless it's a super common word, like humanoid or something, it's just never obvious whether or not it takes an S. But
yeah,
it's so important sometimes, as we can see here. She does at least have it spelled out. I have to imagine that even if she doesn't know it, it's time to take a guess on something reasonable since it's a bingo.
Yeah, for sure. I think that she's at a point in the game where she's down a lot, and
yeah.
I think it's worth it.
It's just so much better than the other options. Again, you're not getting those charitable setups that the sim assumes, so you do kind of have to be your own advocate a little more than the sim implies a lot of the time. So yeah, she putting it down hopefully because it's a pretty big swing if she doesn't get this one down.
Yeah, no, I think that if she doesn't find this, or she has found it, but if she doesn't commit to playing Neuroids, she's going to be maybe like less than a third to win. I think that playing Neuroids probably puts her more like 40% to win, so it's going to put a very large dent in her
Yeah,
win percent.
yeah. I'm definitely rooting for her to just I don't
She's
know if she
going
knows
for
it
it.
or not, but at least try it because it's very important here to just to do it basically.
Yeah, no, and
When
it looks like
you-
she has committed the play, so.
Good. Yeah, so now she's only behind by 8 points and it's kind of anybody's game. Let's see. Wonder if it's gonna get held. It is just 5 points and it's hard to remember OID words.
Yeah, yeah. You can see Heidi's yet to draw tiles. Actually, that's not true. She is drawing
Okay.
tiles.
Yeah, the S is obviously quite welcome. Is it Yidakis? Do we
Uh,
see Yidakis? No, I don't think that's an A. But yeah,
it doesn't. It
that would
looks
be a
like
fun.
an E, but I'm not 100% sure.
So what about SYK? No, that's not a word. I was gonna say SYKED, but that's not a word.
Yeah.
SYKE is. So there's that if you just want to go all out
Uh, she's
on
found. She's found
scores.
Sky. This plays for 39 points with 4 overlaps above Neuroids. The S really it has some utility on this board actually. There's still deflations plays that you could use to score with your S, but it looks like Sky there is gonna get obstructed by George's play. I'm not fully sure what this is due to the glare. Uh,
Is this MOOVES? I think it's that.
yeah. Oh, then what? Then what's that word up top? I thought that was mime.
Is it NIMB?
Oh, is it? Oh, it might
Oh
be.
wait. No, that's an M. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna have to switch out the tiles, I think. I mean, I think we can just swap them out at like with the adjacent board or something. This is definitely not ideal. Again, I want to point out that this is a volunteer production
Okay.
and for that with
Jeez,
that
yeah.
no, it is NIND.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
just did not read that correctly the first time. I need to go back and fix that in Quackle to make the score correct, as
So
well as the.
George is actually making a bit of a sacrifice with the fact that he can also play parallel the neuroids with that same word for a little more, but it does make sense here. I think it's he has a lead and he probably doesn't have a hook to move. Kind of just no point.
Yeah, okay. But now, yeah, now that I can see that that's an N in the triple lane and not an M, Heidi has a 42-point play up top of Dinky. Uh, I,
Yeah, it's probably going to be hard to argue with that. When the best scoring play keeps the S, but I guess if you want to go in a different direction, you can do something like Yike. I do worry a little bit that without an E on your rack, you're actually not the favorite to bingo in that spot, and you just therefore shouldn't set it up with the game still being close. So I would probably just do Dinky.
yeah,
So it's a common theme in Scrabble. You kind of just don't need to set up a bingo lanes. If the game is close, you really better be the pretty heavy favorite to hit it if you're gonna like think about it. And even when you're behind a little, it's often like be patient, pick the right bingo lane to set up. Often, if it's super easy to bingo there, you're just giving your opponent an easy way to put the game away. So
yeah,
picking the exact type of open is often good. You can't just sort of rip the board open and say, "Hey, that's what I do. I'm behind." There's a lot more nuance to that.
yeah. Especially when you're not down by all that much. Heidi's down 36. It's pretty much an even game. A lot of her best scoring options would put her into the slight lead. So there's really no need to panic at this stage of the game. have the last S, you could potentially weaponize that down the line. There's
Yeah, I don't think Yike is a blunder if she goes in this direction. It's just I wouldn't if someone told me they were doing Yike to set up their S in a bingo lane somehow, I would be like, really? I don't think that's quite logical.
she's going for Dyke instead.
I wonder about this because it's not a lot of points, and you could definitely swap that I out for a Y if you weren't sure of if you weren't. I guess that one is a little more offensive and could be thought of as something that
It
got
also
deleted.
would
I
keep
don't know.
two eyes on your rack, so
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I mean it's definitely not the worst thing ever. It's just yeah, it's not as many points as Yike. It keeps the Y, so it's you're a little further from bingoing, and yeah,
yeah,
still a little behind. It's gonna be one of the better draws for it though, because AEIST is already excellent, and then AY has a really nice spot on the board for it.
oh yeah, with
For
Oma
28.
and a bye, yeah, that's 28 points. It does obstruct that line on the end column, which might be the one reservation there, but I don't think that, again, there's still plenty of words that'll fit with some overlaps next to Dyke, with the S early in the word.
Yeah, that's the thing though. A lot of those are like, do you really want to do it? There's two S's unseen, there's a blank unseen. So a lot of these overlaps, you really have to be careful. Um,
Yeah,
and that's another one of the issues with plays like that in general. If you're setting up something like jar with that, like what are you really accomplishing? You're not actually going to play jar, are you?
yeah. Well, we see one of those S's down, and actually that pool was from George's perspective, and uh, that was with a not the full rack. So Heidi now is holding on to the last S after George plays Siri for 22.
Yeah, and here I don't think there's really anything to do other than AY. It's not necessarily fun blocking your own bingo lane, but it's just so many points and like it's flexible. If George decides to use the triple on 08, then you have a floater. If he plays something like MIEN, it's like, well, there you go. You've got Satine. You just need two tiles to make an 8.
Yeah, there's
So
also the R in Neuroids that that George could easily play down
George.
from with something like Frag, for example.
Yeah.
That's there's a lot of plays that George will
Yeah.
use a triple. Even something through the N in Nim will still give you a floater to work with. And yeah,
Exactly. And so, yeah, again, it's just, I think she will play AY. I wouldn't love the argument of like, well, I'm not going to do this because it blocks the bingo lane. Like, you do have to keep it in context. She is ahead. She's not desperate. Um, just see what the board turns into. There's no need to
hmm
desperately cling to a bingo line when you're ahead, which she is after the turn. So yeah, I like AY.
yeah, I think this is the right call, and he made it pretty quickly. I don't actually have the clock on screen right now, which is a bit unfortunate, but
And Heidi with fatties, which is yeah, it's definitely a little bit annoying to play AY knowing you're likely to draw something in the place you just blocked. But again, this isn't just fatties. Like it gets its value in other ways. She can play
yeah,
frat 30. She could play frat for 33, which is awesome. It sets up as little as possible for bingos, just one floater, and then scores 30. So
yeah,
having
no.
the F is nice because if the board stays tight, it's a scoring tile. There's so many good things about this rack, even if Fatties isn't gonna play that you can't use the logic that AY is bad because it blocks the bingo lane. There's always just more things going on.
Yeah, no, there's a lot good in this rack. There's so many options. You could even make a play like Fa underneath Neuroids to set up your case S on the bottom. Now, there still is a blank unseen to Heidi, but she could take an aggressive a route instead of playing like frat, which I think is probably still better, but you can go for that S setup instead as another option.
I don't love plays like Fa in general because I don't think you need to go there, and you can block it with a
Yeah.
five-letter word that uses the triple, and you can sometimes end the game on the spot with a bingo. So I like the idea. Don't know if it works here. Usually, when it's this close, it's just not necessary because Fa is a little bit on the desperate side. That said, it is
Yeah.
a good equity play, so it gets its value from that too. So we're just gonna have to see what George does. He can score kind of any number of points, and it honestly does change the dynamics a lot because it changes how desperately Heidi should want to bingo.
Yeah, because Heidi's up 3 as things stand. And it looks
Yeah.
like George is going to
Yeah.
be playing through the blank O.
What is that letter there? Um, K. Is that Brewer? Okay.
Brewer, yeah.
So
That's
there's another interesting choice, which is Fiest in that area, which kind of blocks some stuff. It does set up a bingo lane, not a crazy one though. There's also something like Factus if you just want to score as much as possible, but it's a little insane.
yeah.
It
I,
is a little less insane because it sets up two things. So maybe it's okay. Fiest is an interesting option because I think it kind of forces the row 15 to be dealt with quickly, which it's currently not a bingo lane, but it definitely could get turned into one. So with the lead Heidi now will have after a play like Fiest, it starts to feel like maybe that's kind of nice and exhaustive.
yeah, I
So
think there's just so many different ways you can score 30 points. Like you had mentioned Factus through the C, which maximizes score, but something like Facet, or I don't know if Facet takes an S or not, but something like Facet would set up Heidi's S and fork the board in a way that would allow her to, continue scoring on her next turn as well. And just based on the current dynamics with the score and everything, it looks like. Did Kruger not get committed? Oh, I didn't. Again, it's hard to see with the clock not properly working, but George picked up Kruger and played Incur instead. So I need to go
okay.
back.
Yeah, so there's going to be a slightly different a set of almost like themes here because now there's not a runaway floater on the left, but there's one there's the O1, there's an R. So it's something to think about. Again, I think the game is close enough that you actually kind of have to be neutral to whether or not that R is a good thing or a bad thing. It might even skew towards being a good thing because Heidi can give herself a really nice leave.
Yeah, and she knows that since George had laid down Kruger, she knows that George has another R on his rack. So that R, because it's a duplicate, may be slightly less useful to George than it would be on average.
For sure. What did Heidi end up doing? She ended up doing frat, so
She
she
ended,
is
yeah,
going somewhat hard in the direction of bingoing. But again, it is also just pretty high up on equity. So I like the idea.
yeah, and Heidi with a fantastic draw. She is set to. Oh, she has. Oh
Oh, she
wow,
has Trientis or whatever.
she has 90
Trientis.
points.
Where's the 90 point? Is there one through the A with deflations?
No, there's not. Uh, that
Is there
is.
is there
This is an extremely hard play to find, but it
is
is.
it on the end column?
It is on the end column. Yes.
Oh, miss enter.
No.
Wow. No?
No, that doesn't work from either of the
Oh, it's with
ends.
a U. I'm sorry. I
Oh
saw
no,
I
that
saw
no, it's not. It's blocked now, but entires played with Abai, Di, Mir, Oak, and OEs
Oh man,
for
that would have been tricky.
Yeah, it has been blocked. I think this is mint. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
mint.
here I think it's you have to play Trientis and you have to do it on the bottom just to stop that area of the board. If you do it with the T and mint, there's just more places to bingo. I
Yeah,
think there might
no, for
be
sure.
a different bingo. Um, Actually, it does empty the bag and anything through the T works, but it is still like with things ending in T. I do wonder if there's actually a different shaped bingo that actually does slightly better.
Yeah, I would assume that would not be correct to play into the T of frat, just leaving the one in mint completely unobstructed, and the N is still a marginal floater, something like interest or inertist, which is actually
Yeah.
what we see. What is this? Rentiest? That's
Uh, is that uh-oh,
that's not a word.
rentier is actually like
That's
renty, this
yeah.
one who rents
Rentier is a noun.
for a landlord.
There's
Tough.
yeah. If
There's
George
a
doesn't have an immediate bingo to end the game, this is coming off almost
Yeah,
certainly.
this is a tricky one to yeah, I mean, I was gonna say if George has a bingo, he actually shouldn't challenge because the out bingos will always be enough. And
You can't
if he
stop Heidi from
challenges it
bingoing
off,
you.
if he challenges it off in bingos, she will bingo. There's no way to stop both spots. The T is a tricky one. Sorry, I mean this anagram set with the T is tricky because there's actually a lot of sevens if you take off the S, but they're like tentier and nettier.
Yeah,
And then if you add the S, there's actually five words, but none of them can be plurals of the seven.
yeah,
So you have to kind of go into your bag.
but yeah, we see the phony of Rentiest challenged off the board, but I do
I
still
wonder
expect
though,
Heidi to bingo.
do you think George Macaulay almost got a little impulsive? It's your like instincts tell you so hard to just challenge a phony. This is one of the rare times where it's like it might be tricky to be like, hang on, wait a minute. Like, is this
Oh
is this a big game?
yeah, George is bingoing and he's gonna
Yeah,
lose.
he's just handing the game away.
Oh my god!
Yeah, this is tricky, but like, yeah,
How?
when you're in this position with an exactly empty bag after you bingo, it's like, no, like you actually want to go second because the one going second is going out. So now Heidi's just gonna play something like interest and win.
Yeah, all she has to do is just find any valid bingo, and it doesn't even need to.
Yeah,
Considering that the J is unseen, it doesn't even need to hit the triple.
like Heidi somehow accidentally 200 IQ'd her way to a
Dude,
win by phonying. Like
this
she
is.
was dead. Like she
She
was
was dead in the water.
100% dead.
And yeah, she's got Inertist lined up.
Like,
That is
like
a
George could
word
have George
in.
could have just bingoed and that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's. Wow. That is a crazy, crazy swing.
really nice job.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, after collecting all of the points from George's unplayed tiles, this game is going to be a win for Heidi, 435 to 404. This is a principle you very rarely see in games where it is correct to let your opponent get away with a phony, but that is absolutely the position George was in, and his mistake in that position is going to lead to a win for Heidi.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it is tough because it's really hard to get past your almost ape-like instinct to insta challenge a phony. It's right, 99% of the time to just challenge the phony. Endgame timing is just a hell of a drug, and it's so strong that it sometimes should overrule even some of the strongest rules that exist otherwise.
Yeah. No, it's again. This is not a position I've ever encountered in a game before, and so it's very rare, but it's yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna
it's tricky. bingoing out is so powerful because it just ends the game by force that it can often kind of overrule maybe some of the other rules we have in our head, and we're going to see
Mhm.
this. Like George just kind of challenged off a word and played a bingo, which is normally that's just like Scrabble, and it's like, oh cool, free turn, I bingo. But here with the whole empty bag, they were actually both going to get one more turn, and it's actually better to go second in this case because second is the one
Who plays out?
with doing it with the empty bag and going out and getting the rack, and so the swing is pretty big this time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I put the wrong word into quackle, but that's fine. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, the idea is there. Heidi's won by about 30. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Inartist was challenged just because it was the you have to try to win, but yeah,
I didn't
it's
see them get up from their seats.
they
So
may have used someone's phone, but yeah. So what appeared to be on first glance a game-losing blunder was actually a game-winning play in a
uh
situation where we
yeah.
might have lost by playing a valid word. So
Yeah, no, that's an
yeah,
insane game-winning blunder. I can't say I've ever seen one of those before, but
yeah, like I think in theory you just have to play something like Trientis. A lot of the time when you phony, he's actually just going to play off one tile.
yeah. Like
If he doesn't have a playable bingo after Rentiest, but he has the blank, there's a good chance he plays off something like the J, and then
yeah.
now you gave him that chance by not emptying the bag with your bingo. So it's probably not something I would advise you to try. It doesn't actually work that well, and she's not dead
Yeah.
after bingoing, even though it would have been this case. She's actually over 80% to win by just playing something. So yeah.
Yeah. Not an advisable gambit, but it did work out in this iteration.
Hello.
Hi Heidi,
Hey,
what's up?
Heidi.
Uh,
You 200 IQ'd your way to victory.
Yes, that was a game-winning blunder right there. We'd
I
love to
know.
see it.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had the mic on for
We
the
don't have
over
a
the
mic
board.
for you on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can have audio, I think.
Right, I just remembered that now. I will switch to that at the end of each game from now on.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, I was just saying that I really thought Rentius was good, and I thought that the J was out. So if you had the J, then it's going to be hard to bingo. But I totally thought Rentius was good. I would have lost the game.
Yeah, rentier is a noun, so.
Yeah, yeah. And so, but I'm glad. Like I said, as soon as it came up, I was like, phew, because now, like, he's gonna bingo and I'll bingo out.
Yeah, no, just the timing of
Yeah.
it made it so that it was George's correct play to let Rentiest stay on the board
Yes,
and
yes,
just,
yeah,
bingo out and win. But,
yeah,
it's instinct to see something like that that's not a word and just call it off right away.
yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And yeah, that first game too, I didn't get to call in, but
Yeah.
I
No, you
didn't hear
did you
that.
did pretty well. There was no large blunder. There was just a lot of
Maybe a little bit tricky with like the
Yeah,
closed board. I mean, I guess Oceania is
Yeah.
not ideal,
yeah.
but
I mean, there's so many words like that though.
That's just
Like,
yeah.
a continent. Yeah.
and
oh,
given that
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oceania could easily also be not proper, it could just be land of
Yeah.
the oceans in a
Yeah.
less proper way. I can see that.
I was like stinged that turn. It took me so long. Stinged is that good?
Stinged and stanged are
It
both
is,
good,
yes.
And
yes.
stanged. I thought so, but I
Yeah,
just
but
couldn't risk it. Like
I
okay.
there's
figured that
also
it was just an unsureness thing in
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
position.
steating. There's
Mhm.
also stealing. Yeah, it's a tricky one because it definitely, if there was a time to like really make sure you get something down there, it's then just because I know you didn't really
Yeah.
want to like give up your S while bingoing elsewhere and kind of just
Yeah.
leaving her to it, but it's
Yeah.
also not fun to phony when you have a blank and then
Right.
it's whatever, a bunch of bingos, so at least you got something down.
And yeah, you did a good
Yeah.
job that game overall as far as controlling the board was concerned.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I was trying to. I knew there was still lots of places open, but I did whatever I could though
Yeah.
to try and so yeah. That was good. I mean, oh my God, well, Vera crushed me in the early bird yesterday, so she beat me by almost 200 points.
Hmm.
Get some revenge. Wow, you're 2-0. I don't. Are
Yeah.
we gonna put you on the mainstream if you keep doing well?
Right. We
We're
might
gonna
have
keep
to.
you here just
Josh might
because
hijack you if you're about to win, right?
you might have
That's
to be
hilarious. Yeah,
on the big one now. I mean,
that's
2-0
funny.
is something, right?
Yeah, well, we know what our third game is anyway, so
Right.
right,
Yeah,
something.
those were paired in
Who's your
advance.
third opponent?
Mike Downey. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
well,
I'll start
see
getting
what
the
see
display set up.
Okay, cool.
And I
see
But
was,
yeah,
what we can
I don't.
do. Yeah.
and yeah,
I was just,
sorry.
sorry,
No,
sorry. Go
you go.
ahead.
You go.
I was just gonna say I don't have my chat up yet, but hi to everybody. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Yarned in the first game was really nice too. You actually had a 45-point play that lost
Oh
the sim.
wow.
I don't know if you consciously passed it up, but if you did, would have been a really nice job.
Which
Yarned
one did
won
I?
the
Which
sim.
was the good? Which was the
Well,
high scoring play?
do you know that LUXE takes the D?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, so you could have played DEY there, but it would have been wrong. Um,
Yes, yes. I thought you'd be proud of me for yarn.
yeah,
I just felt
it's the
like that
right
was gonna
idea.
be a
It's
yeah.
a lot of those 5 or 6 tile plays actually end up in less disasters because you really only needed that F you drew to seal the deal.
Right, yeah.
And
Yeah, I was
five
just
tiles is more shots at that. You really just need like one more of those to outrun
yeah.
bingos.
Yeah.
So there
And
is
also trying to
a lot of situations where actually playing off tiles lowers the
yeah.
variance because all you need to do is dodge, A, N or something, and it's harder when you need 5 disaster tiles. So I really liked Yarned.
Yeah, I thought just trying to get to the end quicker so that Vera has fewer chances to get back in it too.
Oh
So
yeah, there's
yeah.
that too. There's also it's a little harder to work with the O. It would have been possible, but tricky after
Hmm. Hmm.
Yarn. And it would have been fully impossible after Yarned. So there was that too.
Yeah.
All in all, those different sort of advantages made it a little bit better than plays like DEY, which I thought
Hmm.
was really nice.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, fun. Oh, neuroids. Did I miss something good
No,
there?
Neuroids was your only
No, that's
bingo.
it. That's
No
it.
way.
That
Wow.
was the only
Really?
bingo.
The other eights in that rack are Dorines and Sordine, which are a little
Yeah.
bit the N is a little bit too late in both of those to work.
Yeah. What about frat play?
Frat looks
Did I
It was
have
good.
like I think it was the
that's good?
right idea. It's a tricky one where yeah, like you don't want to set anything up, but also you're not
Yeah.
you're behind. You're gonna take the lead with your turn, but it's close enough that you can't just be like completely allergic to opening a lane. And
Right. And
also
Dyke too, I didn't know that
the
what I
fact that
should
you have
do on that
I
turn.
IEST definitely softens the blow a little
Yeah.
of it softens the blow of opening another lane because you have at least a pretty good
Yes.
chance of hitting it yourself, even if you don't get the first shot at it.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks again, guys. Appreciate you all. Appreciate everybody
Of
who's here
course,
watching.
Of
yeah, we'll
course.
do 2 more games. I don't know who's doing the afternoon session.
Me and Brian Garnett are doing the
Yay.
afternoon.
Have fun there. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get off here. Mike and I are gonna play. We'll
All
talk to you
right,
guys in a
sounds
bit.
good.
Perfect, yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right. Good check-in from Heidi there. I am doing gonna be restarting the Quackle script and doing something different. I don't know if this was noticeable to the viewers, but there was a little bit of a bug with the board flipping. So I'm gonna be handling the board flipping manually for this next game and just running a different script that I'm working on getting set up right now. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we got Mike Downey on stream soon.
Yep. Yeah, give me one moment, and I will get that back in. Okay, gotcha. I got the new script running, and I'll just we'll get the board flipping situation situated during the lunch break.
Yeah, I would. Hopefully, we can swap out the tiles. It's not great.
Or I don't know
Usually-
what's is it. I don't know what's. I guess the lighting is just coming from outside. It would be fine
Yeah.
if there was less glare.
Yeah, the glare causes but it's not that ideal. You can easily get more contrast than this with the letter and the background on the tile. It is a little bit gray and black is a little bit. It's a little bit not ideal with the colors, but it's okay. We will
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. And yeah, Heidi is going first in this game.
Yeah, what do we
Wait.
got?
We forgot to get the clock feed fixed.
Is that Violone?
That's
she has
Violone,
the-
yeah.
Perfect. Well, hopefully she knows that.
Yeah, if this is one of those racks where... Oh,
Oh,
nope,
it's
that's an
queue,
opening
never mind.
queue for the third time in a row.
Okay, so it's either like QI or QIN.
Yeah, it's QI or QIN. Yeah, she's literally... Heidi has had the Q on her opening rack all 3 games. That's brutal.
It's not necessarily that bad. She's gotten some
Yeah.
use up.
Yeah,
She
that's
didn't
fair.
have. She didn't have this. She didn't start with the Q the first rack, the first game.
No? Okay. Yeah, she's
It was
playing...
jaw keep obsessed. Yeah.
Right.
It's often honestly like pretty close with QI versus QIN. Like QIN is like a little easier to parallel for a little more, and it's another floater. And then QI, if you're thinking about QI versus QIN, then QI is a setup for the end.
Yeah.
So I honestly think you can go either way. I mean, it's nice to score more. It's also nice to get a little setup. She's gonna do QIN, so it's perfectly reasonable choice.
Yeah. I don't know if you have a specific heuristic for QI versus QIN on opening racks. Obviously, there are some racks where you'll be a little consonant heavy, so playing off the N is certainly helpful for balance. But
It's just play QIN every time I have a C.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Right.
I'm joking about missing Sank.
Yeah.
But yeah, this rack Heidi has is actually a perfect illustration of why QI is sometimes better, because with Heidi's rack, if she were Mike, she would have something like just HE, which is just honestly a little nicer in terms of a little harder to work with, and yeah, I don't know. It's annoying to deal with either way, and then QI sets up the N. But yeah, Mike is playing Dow, which actually does take quite a few hooks.
takes the L on Heidi's rack, and it takes some other ones like F and S and T.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's definitely pretty risky, but the options might be so limited that you just have to do something like that.
Yeah, no, the QIN is a more pretty defensive opening, so a lot of racks like Mike's, what he must have had, just resulted in just he's probably kept 4 decent tiles with Dow. But yeah, for Heidi, what do you think? Hovel, or do you want to shed the J with Joel?
It's a weird spot because I really just don't want to play Hovel. But I think it scores so much you kind of have to.
Yeah, I mean, again, you could play Joel for 30, but keeping the HV combination, they really do not go well together at all. So.
Well, except actually, this is Collins, so Joel is actually a setup for Evho as long as you
Oh.
can redraw an O. So yeah, in theory, VH isn't great, but in this case, it actually is because of Evo. That said, I do think Joel probably just sets up more than you need for Mike because of things like Ezine and Xene, and
And
it's
even then,
probably
yeah, just a lot of parallel plays with the E, with the high scoring tile, could just obstruct your spot, and then you are dealing with HV on a board that does not have the advantage of that. So.
yeah. This is one of those spots where I don't know. Every option's just kind of sad, and I don't know.
How
You
do
do
you
just probably have to suck it up and play Hovel. I don't really like this play. I think this is maybe a little bit of. I think Heidi's falling into the trap where she wants to be defensive, but this isn't actually defensive due to how many hooks Dow takes. You
Yeah.
can't just make a parallel play and call it defense. It is more nuanced than that, and yeah, this time with VOL, it's like VOL takes A, E, T, S. It's so many hooks.
And
Dow takes so many hooks.
Div takes an E and an I and an S in Collins, right?
Yeah, and like an
And an O.
A and an
And an O,
O.
yeah.
So
So like all of these words on the board
yeah,
take a lot of hooks.
she's trying to set up G, but G is only like 30 some points. It's not the kind of thing you really set up to get like value. It's just not
Ooh.
that much better than some sort of play you're gonna get. So yeah, it does kind of not really work well on any account. Yeah, this is the word.
Yeah, that's
Fetid
it.
and Dow
Yeah,
are
it
both
actually played
words.
with Dalf and Volt for 36. I think Mike must have just missed the spot.
Probably Dalf is interesting because it doesn't take an S, so it actually would have been like it would have been really defensive because it takes an absolute boatload of hooks into I guess still a lot because of div, but
Yeah.
a lot less.
And then we see Heidi playing Jihu. This is by far her best equity play. She found it very quickly. This is 42, keeping ER blank. It's just everything you could ask for in a play.
Yeah, for sure. There isn't really anything to consider. Even if she had some sort of 80-point bingo, Jihu would likely be better.
So, yeah. The JEH, she did keep that on her last turn, and it ended up being pretty effective for her. And
Yeah,
she's
so now
drawn
she has
into
like Scanner or Scunner or something.
Connors as well. That'll play with divs.
Well, I think Scanner and Doubts or Scunner and Doubts is a
Yeah,
little bit.
right. That is a little better. Forgive me for not immediately spotting the hook on the word that I don't have to worry about.
Yeah, I would say if the hook to div didn't exist, I would consider playing Rens there and not even bingoing. But I do think it's a little like every time you do that, any bingos anyways with divvy or divs or something, you're just like, okay, why?
Yeah, that's definitely yeah. If a more defensive word was there other than div, Rens is a very interesting play. Just shutting down most of the scoring opportunities in the top right of the board, scoring 35 yourself and keeping the blank. But yeah, I think in this iteration with div just taking so many hooks, does not make sense to pass up the bingo because a lot of Mike's bingos are just going to fit anyways.
And I might burn a ton of time looking for something. It's a double double. I don't. Does she have one?
Double double. Where would the a nine
Like
letter
if she had an M instead of an N or something, there would be menarches. There's things like that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, there's no 9-letter bingos in this position. And that's Tabby, right?
It is. I saw TARI for a second, which is not
No,
a
I
word.
saw that at first as well, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not a word. And this isn't. I had to do a double take because this is Collins only, anyways. So just like, what is this? But yeah.
This is a. I would definitely burn some time. There's like two different positive. Or sorry, there's two different plausible spots for a double double now with that HE and the T, but there aren't any. So
Yeah.
Scanner and Dowds is definitely gettable, and it's probably
Yeah.
best. Maybe Scunner is a hair better because it's a U, but Scanner is great, and
Yeah. Does is Scunner a noun or?
I think it is. It's not a variation on.
It's actually
that's
Scunner
not
is a
word.
verb. Actually, it's valid in NWL as well. So
Yeah, Connor and Scunner are both words, even though they're not like ER inflections.
right. Yeah. That's this is
But
new
yeah,
to
I
me.
mean, it's a small thing. I just hope she gets a scanner down and doesn't chicken out on Dowds or something.
Yeah, she's always gonna get a bingo down here. Divi takes an S.
It does. It means to divide.
Okay,
It's just an alternate spelling of DIVVY.
got you. Yeah, so I'd be shocked if she doesn't get a bingo down here. The only bingo with the T is Centners, which is very clearly positionally worse than these other bingos, and she was able to find at one of her scanner and scunner very quickly. So,
Yeah, I mean, I would always kind of lean towards just getting something down. And again, I honestly love the concept of RENS. I think there is just enough to sort of do that. It's kind of pointless to block off that section of the board, but I do kind of like the idea in general. It just doesn't quite work here. It maybe is a few points shy of being a logical idea, and it doesn't block enough with like a new double double there.
yep. And we can see Heidi's going for one of these plays, either scanner or scunner. I will input it into Quackle as scanner. They both take an S, so there's no real difference as far as play generation is concerned.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, I think that if you know Scunner, you play it on the off chance your opponent gives it a nickel. Your opponent's never going to challenge Scanner, but, you just play what you're sure of.
Yeah, this is fine. And oh man, what does Heidi have now? Puree, Perial. Okay. I don't think there's any sevens. There might not even be any eights here. So it's
yeah.
actually just be about maybe some sort of bailout.
Oh, wow.
And
So, Mike's playing comp here for a decent score to the triple.
30. So yeah, Heidi is definitely ahead with that bingo, but can't completely fall asleep yet.
Yeah, so there is a pretty insane insertion spot. I wonder if you can find it. I don't know if we can expect Heidi to spot this, but it is where her best equity plays are.
Yeah, let's see. What is it? Oh, I saw Volva.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, that's really nice. It does block some of the floaters.
Yeah, her best equity play is Vare with Volva, which is a solid bit of equity better than anything else, but that is an extremely tough spot. I would not fault Heidi at all if she were to miss this spot to insert the V and then make some overlaps.
Yeah, viral is an interesting idea. One of the nice things is that it kind of tries to stop the top left from ever being opened. I don't know. You might not be up enough to really
Yeah.
value something like that in the long term, but it is there. It's certainly not a terrible play. I think that Vare spot with Volva is just super nice, but man, that's tricky. The V being the critical letter in a parallel play is already hard.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a hook and there's a blank is
Yeah.
just so hard.
No, it's really tough. I think maybe volley might have been a little bit better than viral to not stick the V out in space. That would potentially, the V out in space allows for certain plays through that V that fork the board in terms of creating openings. Something like volley with the 3 overlaps would have prevented that, but viral is still a pretty fine play. And Mike very quickly playing Zamia for 38. So he's doing a good job to keep himself within scoring range of Heidi.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely got to be not fun doing that if that's your only scoring play, but it is probably necessary. Especially if you have the Z, you're probably not necessarily trying to bingo in the short term, and then there's at least some benefit from trying to make it so Heidi can't bingo with a game ender. So
Well,
Heidi,
if Mike had an E, then maybe Zaire would have been a bit better through the R and scanner. But
yeah, but this probably means he doesn't.
yeah, that's also likely. So Heidi's got there's 3 7-letter words on this rack. She's got one of them set up already. Piniest, that is 70 points. Her other bingos in that spot are a little stronger as far as score is concerned. Tie Pins is 72 and Pie Knights is 76. We see her going with Piniest. This is still a fine option. It does put the worst tile above the triple letter score. There's really not a lot of damage that Mike can do there. Only the F will score a lot down there. Whereas the N is a lot easier to play through. And the Tie Pins puts the E there, so...
Yeah, there's pros and cons of each play. I will say that Pine Knights at least does score more, which is always worth something, and maybe putting a vowel in front of the triple word is a little worse. That said, the I is probably the best of them. It takes the fewest hooks of any vowel, I believe. So yeah, also this whole area of the board is gonna disappear so fast that it's not worth worrying too much. This whole thing is gonna kind of solve itself quickly.
Yeah, there's gonna just be progressive, scoring plays that exhaust this part of the board. You don't need to worry about it for the long term. Did she just draw a nutcase? I didn't see the farthest tile on the left.
Well, it doesn't look like an E. It looks like another A maybe for Ascant.
An O would give her bingos as well. Toucans, Conatus.
Yeah.
It is an R.
Okay, it's an R. So she has Turrisins and Saturnic.
Ooh.
Oh, does she have tranches?
She does not have tranches. That's not a word, but she has stauncher.
I'm sorry, she has stauncher. She has stauncher.
That's 110.
That's gettable. I mean,
yeah.
I assume most one-syllable adjectives can compare, so it's definitely better. Sorry for saying my wrong guess and error list with that.
No, you're fine. Also worth mentioning, Heidi has curtains through the I. That was not mentioned. Its other anagrams are CSW only and are fairly obscure, but curtains is a very gettable bingo. There's also a few bingos through the E, uncrates and untraces, hooking alu. So,
I'm not really sure why I saw the 2 weird ones before I saw curtains, but that's what Scrabble will do to your brain
Scrabble
sometimes.
just does that to your brains, yeah.
So she spelled out raunchist, which is like, I can see why.
Raunchiest?
It's actually another similarly Another similarly sexual word in there.
Yeah. But yeah, if she's looking for through the HE, then there's definitely a chance that she'll spot Stauncher. But
Okay, well, there is one advantage to this play, and that's that she's less likely to mess up.
yeah.
I have faith in her to see curtains.
Oh, Mike just blocked the double with YE. So
That's right.
no more Stauncher, but
And since I have faith in her to find curtains, we can honestly tell her she played well after the game.
yeah, exactly.
So
I don't
so
think
it's
Heidi's made a
actually-
mistake yet. I mean, Viral and Vol
Yeah.
might be
Well,
smaller. Yeah.
VOL is the biggest mistake. It's not. It's definitely not ideal, but I
Yeah.
mean, just one in a long game is certainly something to be proud of. I mean,
Yeah.
Scrabble. We say all this stuff, but we also have access to computers while we're commentating, so I can't tell you whether or not I would have made every single correct play during these games. Probably not.
Yeah. No, I certainly am not at the level quite yet where I'm finding all these plays. This is not a word.
It's hard. Some of those acts of being something are anses and some are ansies, but yeah, not this one.
This.
There actually are bingos there because AL takes U.
Yeah. Uncrates and untraces are both good, but it looks like they're getting up to the challenge computer, and Truances is going to come off the board.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, oftentimes when you help someone with Scrabble, and I've coached Heidi in the past, you get these conflicting advices. It's like, don't phony. Also, don't chicken out on things, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, if you get a little more frisky with trying things, you're gonna maximize don't chickening out, and if you are a little more cautious, you're gonna maximize don't phony. But unless you're Nigel, you can't really do both.
Yeah. No, it's a very tough position to have. But I mean, hey, Heidi is currently averaging one phony bingo challenged off per game, and she's also averaged one win per game. So if there's a correlation there, then she's on track to win this game. I mean, she's still up 100 anyways in this position right now. The lost turn is not going to be the end of the world. You can see that she's corrected it on her rack. She does have uncrates set up now. I think she might be kicking herself a little bit that she didn't spend a bit more time before committing her bingo, but in Mike's position, he'll actually be incentivized to leave that open, considering Heidi's best bingos are in fact through the eye. If Mike sees curtains and decides
I wonder,
to
though, if he has an E,
Oh,
he
right,
definitely has
right.
a chance at blocking everything. I just wonder, does he realize that Heidi's bingos are close enough to each other that it is doable? Because they are actually kind of far apart.
Yeah, no, that is a really good point actually. Yeah, just a 3-letter word, or maybe you don't even need a 3, just something.
Yeah, you could even do it too, although I wonder if they all have hooks.
Yeah,
Like NID and stuff like that. Or like Ned and EE. Something
Yeah.
something like EX maybe does it.
yeah. EX would block
Yeah.
it.
Might even be able to pull it off with a 2. He does have to have an E for this to even be possible.
Yeah, that is correct. If Mike doesn't have an E, maybe if he has a U, he can make a play with Utah and block everything. But
Oh
That's-
yeah, AL. As long as it's not a B, I don't think it will take a U.
yeah, but I think we might expect Mike to take a lot of time in this position. These positions where you know what your opponent has can be very tough in terms of deciding what to do. But we see he's not gonna block anything. He's gonna play a leap, and this gives Heidi another shot to get a bingo down.
I wonder if he's just like maximizing his leave, thinking that the triple will be open, which it will, assuming she gets a bingo down.
Yeah, that is true. And yeah, uncrates is better than untraces there. It's 2 more points. Maybe you would have liked to see her find curtains, but hey, she's rebounded from her
Getting something
blunder,
down.
and she's getting something down. She's going to be up by like 150 points. 149 is going to be her lead after uncrates. So, despite the
Yeah.
hiccups, she's still in a really good position in this game.
Yeah, and curtains is just so nice because it's like that area will be opened, and when you do it with yourself with curtains, you get to put a C there instead of when Mike does it for himself, he's gonna prefer something more hookable than that.
Yeah.
So that alone is just would have been really awesome if she could have seen it. But I mean, hey, on crates at least she's scoring points and she's not like rebounding into like she's not chickening out because of like fear of phony bingoing twice.
Yeah, and this blank draw is definitely gonna put Heidi in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think this will I don't want to speak too confidently. This will probably just about do it. It is possible if Mike gets a bingo right now that it could get more interesting, but gonna definitely be pretty hard for Mike to pull anything off now.
Yeah, and especially since he's now closed the bottom by scoring on the triple with Oi. This should allow for Heidi to just make some play in the area of the bottom left and just close down everything.
Yeah, it definitely seems like pretty smooth sailing from here. I mean, really anything, even just Kiwi doesn't seem the most inspiring, but it's actually equity and it blocks
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the
I'm pretty
big
sure.
part of the board left. So it's basically got to be impossible to lose after Kiwi.
Yeah,
I
Wiki,
mean,
an alternative.
it's like,
To,
but we do need to honor Nigel at some point.
yeah. You're right. Yeah, probably Kiwi's maybe a little better. Just gives back very slightly worse plays that parallel the play, just because the W's next to the double letter instead of the K. It's just a very marginal spread improvement.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as long as you kind of seal off that area, I think it'll be
Yeah.
pretty tough to do it. The sim I'm running is actually coming up with something hilarious, which is be foul using a blank and playing through EF. I'm not sure if it actually works the best in a world where I'm wondering it's got to be something weird involving the sim, but yeah, it is difficult to lose anything, and it's possible
Yeah.
BFAL just hasn't run into a disaster in the sim yet. The actual sim favorite is Kino's using the blank with Zamia's, which actually does make quite a bit of sense
Yeah.
because one
That
way to
scores
lose
very well.
is one way to lose is to have Mike play something like Luxade followed by bingoing, and that stops that. So yeah, actually, something like Kino's using the blank might be better as like a just in case
Yeah.
kind of
There's
thing. It's
also
like
there's a really cool blank burning 6 of a Woobit, Woubit, that could be played on the O column for 38 points.
yeah, I mean, honestly, both of those might be just a tiny bit better, just because something like Luxate down there is actually it is a pretty big threat when you're only worried about disasters because those sixes are just a little more likely in general since
Yeah.
they require 6 specific tiles and not 7. So yeah,
Yeah, there's also stuff like, not as common, but like some like mixing in the pool.
yeah,
Dixies
for
or
sure. I mean,
Dexies.
anything like that is
Yeah.
definitely it is actually once you're up this much and you start getting panicking about specific things, those sixes actually do get pretty volatile. That said, I don't blame her for playing Wiki either.
Yeah.
It's keep the blank and it's going to be hard to lose. But yeah, this may have been one of those times where using the blank for some sort of almost like spatial reasons is a solid candidate as well. I mean,
Yeah. I don't think she could have really went wrong. I think Wiki is still a very strong option. It defends against the bingos, and a lot of the sequences that lead to Mike winning are the 6-letter X play plus a bingo. And, by taking out the bingos now, that's still one part of that sequence that you're eliminating.
yeah, the sequence I worry about involves the 6-letter X play right now, and then something like AVO later, where maybe you actually can't quite block every possibility. But yeah, I mean it's down to some pretty crazy sequences for Mike to win, and I wouldn't worry too much after Wiki. I mean it's we're getting to the point where only divine intervention would work.
Yeah.
Here, I think it's pretty cut and dry that she needs to use the blank with buffed if it stays open. It
Yeah.
again blocks Lux 8s and it just scores so much more than other options. And
Yeah. It's 49, and that's...
and it also
Yeah.
there's definitely some amount of advantage to playing off 6. Especially when he needs like a 2 or 3 turn sequence. It does just make time run out for something like that a little faster.
Yeah, and just based on the overall construction of this board, like there just aren't going to be. You don't need to keep the blank and try and bingo yourself because where is that happening on this board? We can actually see. Oh, that play you suggested of Avo from Mike is actually what he is playing in this position.
Yeah.
So I think one of
There is a bingo. It's a tricky one.
Is
The blank will be an L. Maybe it's not too bad. I don't know. I don't know if it's a normal word or not. I don't know how to speak English, but I mean, barring that, there's still the aforementioned buffed. There's probably Bufo and Bach as a better.
I think I can confidently say this is not a normal word because it's not NWL.
Okay.
Yeah, this.
I don't.
Yeah, call it Heidi's bingo of Bodeful is 100 points, but that is not necessarily an easy spot. And I think if she plays Bufo, she doesn't need to worry about the bingo spot because she can just outrun it anyways. And there are also worlds where if Mike does get a bingo down on the A column, she can just play her own bingo overlapping it anyways. And
I just
fine.
really hope he doesn't play something like Be Found because that is one way to lose.
Yeah, that is definitely one way to lose the game by phoning here. And...
Even just something like FUD and DAW, just like
yeah,
now
save the B for
over
next.
70. You still have the B. Like you will get over the finish line. Like, just please don't play something like Be Found and like pass and lose.
Yeah. Oh, or boofed. Boof is a word. This blank on her rack would be a second F, but it is a noun.
Which boof are you talking about?
Isn't it
the ones that are spelled out are not words. BOEUF is a word.
BOFFE or BOUFFE is a word.
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah, the second F. Yeah, he has. Yeah, that is a word.
I'm sorry.
But,
I saw BOUF before the blank and got confused.
Oh yeah, no, that's entirely
But yeah,
fair.
I mean, honestly, anything on the O column probably seals the deal. So I do just hope she gets something valid down.
Yeah, I think just the most important thing here is that the play is valid.
I mean, FUD is just it's just nice. It just like the B is saved for later, and the main issue is gone.
She's going back to boofed. This is. I hope she doesn't commit to that. That really is the only way that this could slip away from her.
Yeah, I don't. I think she has strong enough senses on when it's time to try something and when it's not. I mean,
yeah,
this exact situation, is definitely screams a lot harder in my head. Just put a valid word down than the
Yeah.
situation with on crates. I mean, you obviously never want a phony, but it would be less costly with on crates, at least in terms of preventing a disaster.
Yeah. She's looking at Bedu right now. This plays in the same spot as
And it,
Bufo. Less points,
yeah,
but again, this will still get her over the finish line.
yeah, the fact that she's seeing Bach would be the important part. I mean, I'm sure there's some way now to get, the X zeromas or something, but it's pretty unlikely. And yeah, I mean, I would have rather started with hooking awe because it's a triple with a bingo lane, but even this is just not gonna be enough.
No, this is 80 points, but it's just not going to be enough at this juncture. Heidi still holding the blank.
Yeah, I don't know what the. Did you see what the last letter was?
No, I was inputting stuff into Quackle. I don't know what the last letter is.
So I don't think it's really possible for it to be a bingo, but I do wonder exactly what.
Yeah.
I do think there's
Oh, it's an
actually
E. So she
okay.
has like stuff like footled, but that's
Yeah, so not
oh no.
no, she does have like red foots and stuff with the refooted with the R, so there's that. I do think also though, I don't think she can really lose with anything that scores.
Yeah. No, she has found Redfoots. That is one of her 3 bingos. All of these bingos are CSW only. Just to tell myself, don't learn this stuff. It's not real. It's
Usually,
imaginary.
usually if refooted with the first E as a blank is Collins only, then refooted with the second E as a blank is
Generally
also.
speaking, yes.
That's usually how it works. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like, yeah, anything that like scores, like actually a lot of the plays that seal the deal do use the blank because they score enough and maybe block Luxate, like something like there's a tricky one, TOFORE, which is just some random thing that doesn't take an S. I guess it's not that random, it's
Uh,
just two, but
Also,
yeah,
Luxate's not in play anymore. Heidi has
oh,
the T.
okay. Anything down there using the blank is honestly fine as long as it scores something.
Yeah. There's also something like Roof, which plays with Boko and IO from the R and Viral. That scores 36 and saves the blank for the end game. It doesn't seal the deal necessarily right away, but because you're scoring so much and keeping the blank for flexibility moving forward, even if Mike does get a bingo down, you'll still have a 30-point lead going into the end game, and you'll have
Yeah,
blank. So that still
yeah,
works.
again, even if she doesn't technically seal the deal, it would require a pretty big disaster. I'm sure there's I don't know, the pool still shows Luxie, but I'm sure there's something that gets bad, like maxing. That's why I
Yeah.
kind of like using the blank at least. There's no way for him to play maxing and then empty the bag exactly and still have 7. But
Yeah.
the bingo lanes left are probably compact enough that you can deal with all of them at once. So even that's not really gonna matter.
Yeah, and there's 15 unseen tiles, so any valid play from Heidi would mean that a bingo from Mike would empty the bag.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, anything that plays off 4 probably seals the deal. Just given that the X plays on the triple, then give Mike 6.
hmm we're
But
seeing
even this is
foe.
like, yeah, there's
Yeah,
at least lots of logic in here. I mean, it's not ideal to miss the bingo, but even this it might seal the deal just because it blocks bingos. So
what's important is that it doesn't stop Heidi from bingoing, right? The EF can be hooked with her T. There's definitely still some words ending like TED that will still fit for Heidi. So even though it blocks almost all of Mike's bingos that he could have, it doesn't stop Heidi from bingoing entirely.
yeah, for sure. Is that I can't tell if the last letter it might be an O.
I'm not sure. It could be a second G. No G's have hit the board yet.
Okay, so yeah, I guess it's not gonna be a bingo, but Yeah, I mean this is good because with the D and the blank and the T, it's pretty hard for Mike to really use that spot at all. So
Yeah.
yes, he can still play something like maxing, but are there only 5 in the bag?
There are 5 in the bag, yeah. So
Yeah.
maxing would not draw a full rack of tiles and would
Yeah, so
just
she's basically sealed the deal with getting
yeah.
the 5. I think I don't even think any sort of like I don't think there's really any way to reopen that doesn't just get slammed shut.
Yeah. There's really not much Mike can do here. If this position doesn't change much, I think something like dugout would be pretty good on the triple. It doesn't score as much as other plays would there, but if Mike makes a play that doesn't really, if Mike leaves that O column open, then you're probably just going to want to play out as fast as possible, considering
Yeah.
your rack is pretty clunky.
I mean, tugged might be a little better, especially given that tugged leaves the O for Boko, and
Right.
you might even draw. Is there something? Is there something to draw like ROO? That's like your outplay is now 20 some points.
Yeah, it's a good thought.
Or ONGRONA. There's like you can even occasionally draw like 30-point outplays if you keep the O
Yeah.
due to Boko being.
Also worth noting, Heidi, in that spot where be foul using the blank was suggested by the engine before, she now has D fog there. That
Yeah,
is
that's
30
another
points.
idea.
Yeah.
30 points and keeps the blank, which is nice. I do think there's a chance though that she's in a position where the spread basically she won't lose, but the spread and she's basically compelled to block the 015 triple, and once you're in that mindset, you might as well use the blank because it gets you a nice score.
Yeah. It's all just sort of a matter of optimizing spread for Heidi, but she's going to go up to 3-0, which is a really fantastic start to this tournament for her. Currently, just taking a look at the standings, Yvonne Lobo is at 3-0 right now, and there are 2 other players, Shafiq Thobani and Adam Logan, are also currently at 2-0. So Heidi might end up at the top 3 pending the result of this game. She is very likely to win, but it's unclear whether or not or how much company she'll have at 3-0.
Yeah, for sure. This situation might not be super fun. I don't actually think you can lose after tugged, but it definitely could get close.
Yeah.
I do think though, even in the disaster scenarios, the bingo is not quite enough because as long like the X, even if he could get the X on the double letter, I don't think it quite works. It would be something like 99 points and then 20 off of Heidi's rack. So yeah,
Yeah.
I do think tugged is at least 100% safe.
I think a play like defog, leaving 1 in the bag, it's probably better for spread here. I think this is like the one situation where, if you leave it alone, if you draw the X, you have the blank, and you might not be able to play something big on the O column, but the X and the blank should allow you to maintain a strong margin of victory, even if Mike bingo's hooking Tog. What are the Tog hooks in CSW? Is it just AS or?
Oh, the back hooks. Toga,
Back
Toj is probably Collins if you don't know it.
That's Collins, yes.
Yeah, so maybe there's ways. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, if he fishes again, then there's definitely a way to play defog and then actually have a pretty good chance at another one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if there's actually any words left that double letter the X and triple word. There's things like X-Man, which at least use the X.
Yeah. I can actually just use Quackle and plug in the entire unseen pool. I have to generate more options, but yeah, there's nothing actually with the X on the double in that position. So what did Heidi play here? Doug. on the
Yeah, I mean,
interior.
it's definitely not. I mean, it's hard. It's gonna be hard to lose. I do worry a little that it's just like you can score more than that. But
Yeah.
even here, it's like, how do you lose? I guess he's gonna fish for something, but I don't actually know if a winning bingo even exists.
Yeah.
And he's down to one tile. He can't even try something like Hajj, so it's probably fine. It is just a little like you can score more than that.
Yeah. Is he playing Alexin over here? Or Alexia?
I don't know.
Uh,
I think I see an N, but I
that's
don't
an
know.
N,
Yep.
yeah. That's Alexin. Okay. So
It
yeah,
was
Mike,
actually Zenial to
instead of
get.
fishing, he's throwing the towel.
There was unfortunately, I think Zenial, which at least would have been a little bit.
Yeah, 7 more points.
All right, well, we're in one of those positions where Nigel might see it instantly, but we're all humans.
Yeah.
There's one with the blank.
Uh, yeah, are you seeing
Not a bingo. It's just interesting. Which is Zoe form with a blank Z.
yeah, that's a really crazy word.
But it's actually not best. Motors is actually best by 1 point because it blocks an it doesn't set up an even worse outplay with HM. So
Right, right. Motors is better than Grooms, I guess. Yeah, but I could
so
get back.
Motors gives back a 21-point play and Grooms gives back a 23-point play. So I think they're actually the same because
Oh, okay.
Motors leaves a little bit more on her rack.
Yeah, because Motors would keep the G.
Yeah. So I think the actual score right now is 417 for Heidi and
Right.
350 for. So I
Yeah,
don't
so I
think
forgot to update it.
even if she phonies, it's fine. But yeah, it is. This is just about kind of unloading everything off your rack and not setting up a big outplay. So yeah, let's hope she gets in something like Grooms,
Mm-hmm.
Motors.
Yeah, I think
Yeah. So
they're
so here's Grooms, which is one of the
nice.
two best plays. So.
Very well spotted from Heidi.
And yeah, so Heidi will win by about, I don't know, 70 or so. 66 if Mike plays the correct outplay of Ha in the area that Droom set up.
Yeah. Before that, he had 21 in the bottom left corner next to Bedu, but
Yeah, so if I have it right, I think Heidi will win 441 to 375. So yeah, good way to start. We're gonna see Kyle Felahy on the stream in game 4.
yeah.
He,
Did
he
Mike make a
actually
play? I saw hands over the board.
Oh, I don't. Did he do something?
I don't think
Maybe.
he's done something. I don't see his tiles on the board.
So Kyle actually started 1-1, but he was in the group with the 2-0s because he had the best spread.
Oh, okay.
And there were 5, so you have to move somebody up into the group to do
Yeah.
some balance.
And
So
Kyle did win his third game, so he is at 2-1 right now.
perfect, yeah.
All right.
So
So Mike, not finding his best outplay. This is 1 point back.
okay, well, yeah.
So yeah, final
Heidi will
score
be
441 to 374. And yeah, we can actually cut to the mic for Heidi right now.
Heidi
So
will be 3-0, not with the best spread, I don't think. She'll actually be in either third or fourth, depending on Adam.
Not bad draws, but there was just I had a lot of unplayable bingos.
yeah, I believe we can.
I had otaries.
You should be able to hear
Which played
the overhead microphone.
Yeah.
It's not coming through right now, I don't think, but maybe it is for the
I was actually
broadcast.
once I played it, I didn't like it as much. But then I'm
If you guys could let us know, then that'd be great.
Oh, I forgot this takes E.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you
Or
hear us,
didn't know
Heidi?
this takes E.
No, she's not in the
Yeah,
Zoom
that's
call.
what I'm
I just
saying.
have
Oh.
I have a Video Ninja feed audio track in OBS.
But, I mean, I feel
Okay.
like you're either in bingo mode or not. So we just scored on it. It's like,
Yeah.
I guess maybe you're giving me 5 for the challenge.
I don't think we're getting it though.
441. Is your name good?
No, DOWNY is good. Like down the air, but not with the knees.
Okay, well, it's okay. I mean,
Yeah,
can take
it's all right.
a few minute break.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, this one was all right, except for the phony bingo.
Yeah, no, I think maybe there could have been some optimizing in the end game for Heidi, but at that point she had already gotten into a good enough position to where she really would have had to try and lose. So no, I think this was a very well played game by her.
Yeah, no, she did a great job. Yeah, we'll just have to wait for the game 4 if she doesn't respond. I will be right back.
Yeah, sounds good. Hold on, I'm working on a bit of production stuff right now. Give me for not being too attentive. Okay. Um,
restarting?
I think we're close. I think the tiles are ready to be pulled, but we don't have a board cam right now.
Yeah, okay. Figure it out. What happened to the board cam?
I am not sure.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, here we go.
There we
Perfect.
go.
Just in time.
And it looks like we have a new set of tiles with better contrast.
Yeah, this is good also because I don't think the glare will actually affect this too much.
Yeah. Oh.
We can play. Is
Wait.
that an M? Looks like Kyle exchanged.
Yeah.
So we got like Maya was the highest scoring, or like woman, but there's also Indao to leave consonants on the double letter.
Yeah, it looks like woman, meow, and Dao all seem to be pretty close.
Yeah, there's a couple different ways to go. I don't think it's quite worth it to go short, although I will point out that AIMN it's really a lot better than people realize.
Yeah.
It just forms random things like anemia and anemias, and there's more bangos than you think, and also you can get bailed out. Like even if you draw AAA, it's not great, but you have mania, and then you only have two A's. And
Yeah.
a lot of stuff like that that makes the AIMN leave actually a lot better than you think. But that said, I don't know. I probably slightly prefer Indao. The AM leave is actually pretty good too, just because of random things like how many words end in man. So
Yeah. We see that Heidi's going with meow.
yeah, this is definitely not. It's a small mistake at the worst. It's never a terrible idea to like take the points when it's close.
Okay. Looks like I need to do a little bit. We have the choppy Heidi cam on one board, and the really nice crisp Heidi cam on this board scene. So, hold up. I can get this done real quick.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. Kyle is playing Kior, which is a term for a rat in New Zealand. And then, yeah, it does do a nice job. Both, it's a good version of the parallel play. It is actually a pretty defensive one because of how unhookable IO is. Not only is it hard to bingo through floaters, it's relatively hard to get any form of parallel given the words IO and OE, so that's always something nice to consider. I know I said,
I believe this got +5 as well. They walked up to where I believe is the challenge computer, and Kior is a valid word, so that'll be 31 points for Kyle.
You know, I did say that you can't just make a parallel play and call it defense, but I think Kiora actually is a nice form of defense. It doesn't replace the floaters with some crazy parallels. Heidi here has a little bit of an annoying situation because she's basically forced to kind of set up something she doesn't have. Wax maybe is the equity play, but it sets up an E-hook that she will no longer have, and then Crew sets up two different S hooks that she doesn't have, so yeah, not a fun one. The lack of a AI or O makes it pretty annoying because that K is there and she can't use it.
Yeah,
but it will.
And I don't think that a lot of these like equity sacrificing plays, a lot of these plays also set up different hooks. Like if you're playing Dex, you're just keeping so much worse. You're still setting up a Y hook you don't have. And you're sacrificing too much equity, I believe, by keeping the CNRW as opposed to CNDR, and also playing for 4 less points.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those spots where none of them are fun because of the shape of the board and because of your lack of a arrow. But yeah, it should in theory eventually lead you to just put one of them down due to the fact that Yeah, they're all ugly. So eventually, you conclude that you are gonna in fact make an ugly play.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see which one she chooses.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, none of them are that great.
Yeah, nothing in this position is gonna really jump off to you as, a particularly great option. But I think what is the straightforward equity play here is probably the play you need to make. And
I almost kind of like crew.
she
It
just
does take an E, but that E takes a D, which she has, and also three vowels is
we just lost the feed.
yeah, three vowels is like a little less likely to get super ugly. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. If this continues, I guess we just have to advertise the one that the tournament organizers are putting on, and
Yeah, and this is the last game before the lunch break, and we already had some stuff to sort out during the lunch break. But yeah, if we keep losing the feed, then did you see what she was like grabbing to play before?
I didn't even see. I mean,
Okay.
I can see. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, hey, I'm sorry. This might just have to be taken off air.
Yeah, depends on what we're able to get done.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I mean, hey, we'll see if Heidi can go 4-0. They probably will end up putting her on the main one just
Yeah.
because yeah, I mean, it's nice to have two, but it shouldn't mean that Heidi can't be on the main one.
Yeah, and I think that Heidi definitely deserves the focus of being on the mainstream.
Yeah, especially with her 3-0 record, it's definitely like you should put her on the main one too. But hey, shout out to Yvonne Lobo, who I don't think she's actually in the lead. The standings don't show Adam's last game, but I think she's in second place and is also 3-0 as one of the lower seeds.
Yeah, so far all of the 3-0 players, again, unsure of the result for Adam Logan, but Yvonne, Shafiq, and Heidi are all seated in the lower half of the Collins field. So seeing all three of them at 3-0 is very impressive. Definitely a great showing from all three of
Dude,
them.
I do think Shafiq might be a victim of a poor performance at his first NASPA tournament. He did finish seventh at the World Championship once, if I
Oh,
recall.
okay. Got
So
you.
I do think he's not 1400 skilled. He was kind of the victim of a bad first tournament that was like 6 games long.
Gotcha.
So yeah, anyways, I don't know if there's really a point in continuing this when we have another stream.
Yeah, I just think it's maybe worth giving it another minute or so to
Yeah.
see if the stream comes back. It was down for a bit before this game started, and then just sort of appeared without any tampering from our end. But yeah, hopefully we are able to get things back and going. You can see numerous plays have been made. I guess it might be a bit tough to also figure out how the board has developed if we haven't been seeing the plays in order.
Yeah.
But regardless of how this game ends up going and whether or not we'll be able to see it, it has been a really strong start for Heidi in this tournament. 3-0 after 3 games, potential to go 4-0, pending the result of the one we are not seeing right now. I'm definitely looking forward to this afternoon session. See if Heidi can carry over her momentum into the second half of today.
Yeah, we'll see what she can do. Hopefully she can make a run for it. I mean, hey, it is kind of anyone's game. Adam is the world champion, of course, but in a 14 game tournament, you only really need to get lucky a few times.
Yeah, Adam's result was just added to the standings page. He did win his third game, so he's also at 3-0 with the best spread at 249. Heidi's spread is 1 plus 151 for reference.
He did win a pretty big blowout, so it did put him into the lead, but it's so close still. It's definitely with 22 people in 14 games, there's a good chance it comes down to spread. So yeah, every spread point counts. I mean, that's why we were focusing on different plays in the end game and the pre-end game. Even after the game was decided last round, you never know how many spread points you'll need. There's a very good chance to maybe see something like three different people at 11 and 3 or 10 and 4 at the end. So yeah, hey, I think I'm gonna sign off, but
No, yeah, I think I was about to transition towards ending the broadcast, but yeah, we'll be back. Hopefully, having ironed out these technical kinks after the lunch break. Do you know exactly when the lunch break is intended to end? I can pull up the schedule right now.
I think it's usually at those Let's Play Scrabble events, it's 2:45. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
different. But yeah, hey, the Let's Play Scrabble YouTube channel has the main one for this tournament, so it would be nice if you could support them too.
Yeah. Have both streams open at once. Just tune into whichever one seems more interesting in terms of the audio. Yeah, 2:45 is when lunch break will end. So we will hope to be live back at that point. And yeah, there's also supposed to be a third Scrabble stream this weekend, the California Open tournament. But
Yeah,
it
I
seems
think
like they're also having a lot of technical issues.
they had technical issues, but in theory it should start around now because it is on the West Coast. So try to
Yeah.
check them out too. But anyways, have a nice day.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Let's Play Scrabble channel does have 100 people and is free of technical issues. So let's switch to them.
yeah. I would raid San Francisco Scrabble on Twitch, but they're not currently live. But yeah,
Yeah.
please come back at 2:45. Hopefully, Heidi, Will, and I will have figured out all of the technical issues, and we'll be able to bring you the remaining 3 games of the day. But yeah, thank you to everyone for watching, and see you soon.